Welcome again to Stade de France and to the Paris 2024 Paralympic Games. For para-athletics competition, it's day 2 and session 3 under overcast skies, but we've got some big finals on the track, some 100 and 400 metre heats, 4 finals in the field as well. I'm Steve Rebellion alongside multi-sport athlete Heather Fell, and we look to have kinder conditions on day 2 and in this beautiful stadium. What's caught your eye in today's schedule?
Well, I'm a bit of a fan of the track, and it's the women's T54 5 kilometres. I think that is billed to be one exciting race. They had a lot of drama at the World Championships in Kobe earlier this year, and they had a photo finish and that then had to be repeated due to drama. Hopefully we won't have quite such drama today, but we are assured an exciting race as the world record was just broken months ago. We've also got plenty on the throws and the long jump. I mean, I don't know where, you've put me on the spot here, Steve. I'll be talking to all the events in a moment.
Yeah, it's a lot to look forward to, and a good crowd coming in as well. Vocal support from our French hosts for every competitor, which has been really heartwarming to see and to hear. It's exciting and thought-provoking that records are tumbling early, especially in the throwing events through the sessions we've seen thus far. Here is the schedule. We're going to have some field events to open things up. We'll be able to introduce those to you and then go back to them during the session. And we've got a men's 5,000 T13 final and the women's 5,000 T54, which Heather's just referenced. And that 1,500 T46 final will be great as well. Got a long jump, then we've got some rounds of 100 and 400 events sprinkled through with some victory ceremonies and the ever-present Frege mascot hats, badges, and it's been a very successful mascot, even if it's a slightly eccentric one, but it's the French way, and it's been a howling success, I think, the Frege.
Yeah, certainly as a hat in these cooler conditions. I mean, I think it adds a little layer of warmth. Yes,
it is a bit cooler this morning, and we've had a bit of everything during both Olympics and Paralympics weather-wise. We just mentioned that in Tokyo we saw a lot of records tumble, and it was partly explained, I don't know if the theory was correct, by COVID, because the absence of competition for some 18 months or so meant there was a paucity of opportunity to test the boundaries. But then 3 years later, though, it seems to be happening again on a short sample of a day and a half. But gosh, some big records fell.
I know, it's incredible, especially as we've had 2 very competitive World Championships in 2023 and 2024. So you'd almost expect it to be slightly dampened. But I mean, this track is known as fast as well.
Temperature a cool 16 degrees. It's going to get warmer than that. The humidity is up there. No rain at the moment. Overcast skies, but we'll keep our fingers crossed that the track stays dry.
And talking of which, I mean, these cooler conditions that maybe as the spectators we're complaining about have actually been great for those longer distance track. So with the 2 5K races you mentioned and the 1,500 to come, that could be actually prime conditions for some more fast times.
So Scaroni in that T54 5000 owns the world record. You feel it could go today? Or
I feel it could. I mean, we didn't see any potential or sort of any inclination of what we're going to see from the heats, because that was a fairly straightforward affair for those athletes yesterday, especially for the top contenders. But I mean, as that world record was only broken a couple of months ago, and it was so close. It was at the World Champs between Susanna Scaroni and Manuela Scher, and only 0.24 separated them. I mean, if those two end up in a battle, unless it ends up as a sprint, it could be another world record. It depends on the tactics. Yeah. We're going to have to wait and see.
Yes, if they're playing cat and mouse for 5 or 7 laps, then those records tend not to go. Yeah.
As in theatre, it's time for the Trois Coups to launch the competition.
So there is the schedule. We'll have the javelin and discus and shot put out fairly soon. Coup de bâton as being highlighted on the big screen here.
Three-time Paralympic medalist, including one-time Paralympic champion. Please welcome April Holmes.
Stands steadily filling for the track and field configuration. They can fit in about 75,000. And everyone is pretty much under cover unless the rain's coming in sideways from above. Pretty easy to get to. There's little RER trains and metros that swing by. How did you go? Pretty well. The somewhat stage-managed coup de baton has to be timed with the big sound that they generate out of the PA system here. But that's a call to attention for what's about to happen. And there's a pocket of spectators off to our left. There they are. There's a host of French flags and fanatics down trackside, and they make plenty of noise, and they're a colourful addition. Love having them here.
Alexa said they've got a sprinkling of Uzbekistan fans coming into the French area. They're looking for their own flags there.
So the scene being steadily set. We've got women's javelin F13 to be introduced at the top of the clock, and a field of 11. Just wondering whether, Serap Imakapu of Turkey may not be a starter today. That's coming up on our screens. So it might be down to 10.
And we do have the reigning world champion competing in that event, Zhao Yuping, silver medalist from 3 years ago. She'll be looking to go one better today.
Previous world champion, youth Paralympic athlete.
So there is the field for the opening event, the F13 Javelin. Liu Teng there. Ashlyn Renneberg of Canada, Austria's Natalia Eder. See her in a few events. Landon Escobar of Colombia, Elizaveta Dobrovolskaya.
Two-time Paralympic bronze medalist for Austria.
Eder topping out the field at 44 years of age, and 19-year-old Renneberg from Canada. Allez les Bleus. Looks like she's made that poster herself. Only needs 3 colours. Well, 2 really, on a white poster.
It saves a bit of colouring in on that middle part of the flag, doesn't it?
Be some nervous men in the holding room, I guess, Heather, with this 5,000 metres due to start in about 12 or 13 minutes. What kind of shenanigans goes on in the holding? People trying to psych each other out?
It's so interesting, and I sometimes wish that we could see that, because there's such different personalities and people approach it in such different ways. Some will have their headphones on, others will prefer to have that conversation. You might want your last few words with your coach if you've got access to them. And you know, there's such a different dynamic. And obviously, some of them will have their guides that they'll be communicating with as well.
This little one well rugged up for the session.
No doubt who she's supporting.
I don't think she'll be getting a nap anytime soon with the noise that's going to come from this fantastic building crowd at Stade de France.
Shot Put F12.
As the F13 Javelin is underway, so too will be the men's F12 shot put.
Fourth in the 2020 Paralympic Games, representing Ukraine.
Médaille de bronze des Jeux Paralympiques de Tokyo pour l'Ouzbékistan.
Paralympic bronze medalist representing Uzbekistan.
Bring the whole family. Oh, he's got the clapper sticks. They don't make too much noise.
Previous world discus champion representing South Africa.
When they set up this stadium for football and rugby union, they can hold over 80,000. A lot of the track area covered with extra seating. Quite a versatile stadium. Nudging up towards 30 years old now. It was built for the '98 Football World Cup.
Certainly an eye-catching colour, isn't it, this purple track? Some people call it blue. I would say it's purple, but it's been fast, and that's what's most important.
What makes a fast track?
It's hard to describe. It's all that reactivity that you get from it. You know, you want a bit of spring, but you don't want too much spring because that then absorbs too much of your foot strike. So it's finding that right kind of energy return, which combined with the new shoe. So I imagine it will have changed.
There's the field for the men's F12 shot put. Lopez Gonzalez of Spain is the world record holder at 17:04, and yet he has a personal best of 17:20. Now that takes some explaining. I'm not sure we've got the half an hour required, but some best efforts are recorded, but not at an official competition. So they can put down a PB at a minor meet perhaps, but if it's not recognised internationally, then it doesn't go in as a world record. I hope I've got away with that. That's the explanation I was given. So.
I mean, that would make some sort of sense. Well, let's just hope that we get a new world record today to clear it all up.
If that's not strictly accurate, can I just say that's what I was told? Anyway, let's have a look at the javelin first up before we get to the track.
Well, you can just see warming up the woman to beat, Zhao Yuping. She won the silver medal back in Tokyo. She's been a world champion, and there is the world record. Just seeing shy of that on her first throw. She set that world record back in Dubai at the World Championships in 2019. Silver in Tokyo. But you've got to think that if she's in form, she'll be the woman to beat. She is a world champion at the last two World Championships, as well as 2017 and 2019.
Well, 44.72 first up. You ask if she's in form. Well, the first throw suggests she might well be.
Yeah, she's putting it out there. Season's best of 44.86, so great start for the Chinese athlete.
Sorokina. And Verizhanova. It's Sorokina, neutral Paralympic athlete.
She's certainly experienced in this event as well. She won the silver medal, but that was back in London 2012, 12 years ago now.
34-32. Got the legal throw out there, temporarily in second position.
Another season's best to start things off. I mean, this is looking at hot competition from the start, Steve.
Kenyan Sheila Wanyoyi standing by to go, but next up, oh no, we had a foul throw, I think, from Kaiser Yashanova. So we'll see. This one just a few moments ago.
Just not getting the point to land. But the athletes do have 6 throws, so plenty of time to make some corrections.
Just got the release and the trajectory a bit wrong, and it lands tail end first. Also a challenge for the visually impaired throwers to manage the footwork.
There's a lot of communication required between the athletes and their guides. Trust as well. You're running at a speed down a runway to an abrupt halt. Hours and hours of training and practice required.
F57 discus will also be underway in this early session today. Nassima Saifi owning the world record, the Algerian.
Say she is the woman in form. She's got the biggest throw so far this year, as well as being that Paralympic and world record holder, Nassima Saifi. However, she was beaten into silver in Tokyo.
Well, about to have the introduction, the athletes of our first track final. It's the men's 5,000 T13. Good spread of nations, great spread of talent. The gun's still a few minutes away for the men's 5,000. Australia, Canada, Spain, Ecuador, Turkey, Kenya, and 2 athletes who are representing neutral Paralympic athlete flag. Someone supporting the Kansas City Chiefs. Well, that's always important in Paris.
Well, even more important if they get it on camera. It's out to the world.
Gosh, not too many spare seats in some of these sections today. And no one appreciates that more than the athletes themselves, who get that sense that their performances are important and valued and enjoyed.
It does become apparent just how loud the stadium is when you do have to have that silence in some of the visually impaired events. The long jump we saw in an earlier session.
So we're going to invite the athletes onto the track now for the T13 men's 5,000. So Jared Clifford of Australia will be in lane 1. Uyet of Canada outside him. Spain's Udadi, Ecuador's Moreta Criollo, Puliatin and Costin, the two NPA athletes surrounding Turkey's Mikael Al and John Lakedi of Kenya. So there'll be warm support for everybody. There's no Frenchman in the field. Perhaps a bit more for the Canadian, Guillaume Uyet. We've seen a little bit of that happening across competition the last few weeks in what the Paralympians like to describe as the warm-up for their competition, the Olympics.
I like that reframing. It's brilliant.
Jared Clifford running with the guide, as is his option. Uyet, Odade, Moreta of Ecuador, Puliatin NPA, Al Turkey, Lakedi Kenya, Costin NPA. So Lakedi, 4th at the 24 Worlds in Kobe. And Puliatin won the 1500 in Tokyo. Tall, rangy runner, and from Ecuador, 7th in Kobe. Moreta, Odadi, gold medalist in Tokyo. He's 4th in Rio. Was Uyet. And Jared Clifford, 2 silver medals and a bronze in Tokyo, 2nd in this event. Feels like he didn't quite meet his expectations with 2 silvers and a bronze. Can he do it here? So we're underway in the men's 5,000 T13. Clifford with the guide on the inside, and Spain's Odadi taking no time to move to the front and see if he can defend the title from Tokyo. A tight bunch as they come around into the home straight for the first time. So 12.5 laps, and Odadi settling into a fairly measured pace early, Heather.
Yeah, already this looks like it's going to be a tactical race for 5 kilometres. They are running very much within themselves, and we'll get a little bit of an idea there of that pace as they went through the first 200 metres. And I really feel like there's quite a bit of nervous tension in this group at the moment, and waiting to see who wants to set the pace. And no one really wants to take the race on. I mean, we see the reigning world champion at the front, but at a leisurely jog. If you think that Odadi's personal best is a 14:21, well inside that Paralympic record, but this is not Paralympic record pace at the moment.
So Clifford just takes over the running. although it's barely more than a jog, as you point out. But some of these races are very tactical, and if it stays this way, then it becomes who has the best sprint in that last lap or more, depending on when they want to kick it home from. And that's a decision that's in the heads of the leading contenders. It's Clifford, Uye and Udadi.
Just a reminder that the field events are continuing, and we're having a look now at the second attempt for Zhao Yuping in the women's F13 javelin throw. Her opener, a 44.72, was a brilliant throw to get things going. Can she continue on this streak? And she has just stormed past the world record, her own world record that has stood since 2019. What an opener this is for the 30-year-old from China. What a phenomenal throw that was. She is most certainly looking to go one better than that silver 3 years ago. And that is going to be hard to beat. Well, the men's shot put happening just alongside the javelin at the moment. Elbek Sultanov with the spin. And that was big for the Uzbekistani. 14.49, his best this season. Has he opened with something special? He has a 15.19, his best throw of the year. The bronze medalist from Tokyo off to a strong start, leading the way after that first throw, ahead of Lopez Gonzalez, the Paralympic and world record holder. Well, we'll be keeping an eye on that as things progress here in the Stade de France as we head back to the men's 5K.
So 10 laps, or 9.5 to go, as Jared Clifford of Australia moves to the front. But the pace quickened up briefly while we were looking at a couple of throws, and now it's sort of eased off once more. Uwe and Udadi of Canada and Spain not letting too many get past them. They want to be near the front, it would seem, and it's really those three who've been sharing the lead: Australia, Canada and Spain. And no one is out of this by any means. The two athletes from NPA towards the rear of the field, but the taller Kuliatin with the dark glasses needs to be watched. He comes in as the defending champion from Tokyo.
Just to give you an idea of the pace there, we're just getting 9 laps to go, but that first 1,000 meters they went through in 3 minutes 26. Now, to give you an idea, these athletes have the ability of running well under 15 minutes. And if you do the maths, that would be quicker than 3 minutes a kilometre. So that's how leisurely this pace is right now.
Field events happening while this 5,000 progresses.
Roman Danliuk, the silver medalist from Tokyo. We've got all 3 medalists, in fact, from the Paralympic Games 3 years ago. Will we see a change in the order? That was the second attempt we're just taking a look at now for Roman Danliuk. He was world champion in 2023, but didn't retain that title this year. Well, that's a big improvement on his opener, 14.41, followed up with a 15.17. just 2 centimeters off Sultanov at the top of the table. And that's certainly putting a bit of pressure on the Spaniard, Lopez Gonzalez.
Back to the track, and the 5000 T13. Guillaume Huet of Canada just eases to the lead in front of Jared Clifford. His guide, by the way, is Tim Logan. And still in third, Udadi keeping an eye on them. And then the Kenyan John Lakady just starting to make a little bit of a move as a change of guide there for Clifford, fairly seamlessly done. Just moving out to the outside of the track.
Well, just having the guide in the field does make it a little bit different for the tactics of the other athletes around. They've got that slightly wider berth they're going to have to take if it comes down to a sprint finish and having to overtake.
Oh, yeah, just having a quick look around to see who's where. So come down the home straight once more.
Well, the pace not really changing. That second kilometre was, again, was a 3 minutes 30, so actually slower than the first kilometre.
7 laps to go. Clifford on the outside shoulder of Huet, and then still it's Udadi. Lakady running on the outside of Udadi. And the 2 NPA athletes still at the back, but maybe foxing. I think Kulyatin, for one, has got plenty in him.
Well, I would imagine that these athletes, you know, they've all raced each other recently, the world champs, will know who's got the sprint and who maybe wants to push it, but it feels like they're all banking on their own sprint at the moment because no one is willing to make a move at the front, and this is really quite incredible of how bold these athletes are being in letting the pace stay at this very comfortable speed at the moment. 3:30 for a 1 kilometre when these athletes can happily hold under 3 minutes for all 5 kilometres.
And Clifford has this interesting advantage running with the guide in that we could see the guide looking over his left shoulder and seeing who is where, informing Clifford of the state of play, where his main rivals are. But at the moment they're all his rivals. There's, all 8 men are in it. And still Kulyatin and Costin for NPA at the rear of the field as they come through with 6 to go. Fascinating race.
I feel like we're just sort of sat on the edge of our seat waiting for someone to pounce, and I feel like it's going to happen before the final bell, because I'm sure that not all of these athletes are going to bank on their prowess at a sprint. Not everyone has that card because someone knows, you know, who's going to be quicker in that pressured environment. And yeah, it's quite baffling to see this, but you do get this at a Paralympic Games.
You could throw a large blanket over the field. Now Lakady of Kenya moves to the outside and maybe settle back into the pack now as they come into the turn. Doesn't want to cover too many extra meters, but Kulyatin has made a little bit of a move. He's now sitting in 3rd position, just on the shoulder of Udadi. Uye back now to about perhaps 5th spot. But Kulyatin has got himself well positioned now, not going to be locked in. There's plenty of laps to go, but he is a smart tactician.
Well, it's another thing, there is danger of being in the middle of a pack. Not at this stage, obviously you don't have to worry about being boxed in because there's not going to a sprint isn't going to happen here, but you don't want to be clipping the heels of another athlete. In a visually impaired class, that becomes a little bit more of a risk. And we see falls happen both in able-bodied and at the Paralympic Games. So the athletes want to make sure they stay safe, and that could well be why Jared Clifford just put himself at the front. He's got his guide to help pace him, and he knows he's out of trouble in the front.
Lakady, the Kenyan, was making a bit of a surge. He just settled back now into 3rd position. And now the move has come. The Ecuador's Moreta has surged. Kulyatin makes a move, and Clifford finds himself suddenly in 3rd position, perhaps 4th, as Costin surges past, and now the race has taken on a completely different complexion. It's Sixto Roman, Moreto Criollo. It's a bit of a mouthful, but the Ecuadorian has taken up the pace. It's been a bit too slow for him. And Culiatin in second, Costin in third, Clifford back to fourth, left some room on the inside, and Uwe is trying to push his way through there.
Well, I think we just saw Jared Clifford get a little bit uncomfortable there as he found himself, like you were talking about earlier, he boxed in for a moment as the pace was changing, and he couldn't do anything about it because with his guide he couldn't move out and around. So I think that's why they've now positioned themselves slightly further on the outside, but now we're seeing athletes take advantage of it on the inside. It's really tactical, this race. And
Moreto Criollo of Ecuador, not with a classic gait of a distance runner, but he's getting the job done in front. And now Clifford starting to make a move around the two NPA athletes to try and join Moreto Criollo at the front. Had the sense through the first half of the race that Clifford didn't want to be too far from the front, and he's moving back towards that position now, up on the shoulder of Moreto Criollo.
Well, again, you saw Clifford's guide taking a very good look at exactly what's going on here, and he'll be communicating to Clifford of just, you know, what's going on. They will have learned from that moment. They had to adjust their stride, and that's the last thing you want to do, especially running with a guide when you're so, it's about being in synchronicity with them. And when as soon as you lose that, everything becomes that much harder.
So Clifford now moves past Moreto Criollo, and he's dropping back through the pack quite quickly. Is the Ecuadorian made his run, and maybe he doesn't have the petrol to stick with these quicker, more credentialed runners as Culiatin and Costin, the NPA athletes, go towards the front now, and now the pace is definitely on.
Look at this, it feels like this is the last lap. We've still got 3 laps to go, and the pace has just, it's as though it switched as they went through across the finish line with 3 to go. And I think Clifford and his guide just said, right, we're not risking this any longer, let's get things moving.
And nor is Udadi. He's gone from 6th or 7th to 2nd to make sure Clifford doesn't get too far away from him. Lokedi of Kenya trying to hang on in 3rd, but this pace has changed dramatically. The race, it's completely different to what we saw 5 minutes ago.
I mean, the race has just, yeah, it's a race of 2 phases, and this is the finishing phase. This is the excitement. It feels like we're coming down the home straight for the last time, but we've still got 800 metres and 20 metres, I should say, to go.
So Clifford, Australia, and Udadi of Spain have taken it out, put it perhaps a 10-metre gap between themselves and the pursuing athletes from the NPA and Lokedi of Kenya. But it's a race in 2, 3 if you include the guide, as Clifford still leads from Udadi, the gold medalist from Tokyo, trying to make it back-to-back in the men's 5,000 T13. And they are stretching that lead, Heather.
Look at Udadi El-Atabi. He is just trying to sit on the heels of Jared Clifford at the moment, and he can afford to do that for a while. But remember, when he's going to make that move, he's got to go around 2 athletes. He's got Clifford and his guide, but he will be aware of that, and he knows he's still got a lap and a half to make that decision.
And Costin, the NPA athlete, is narrowing that gap. He's going to join this fight for the front, and so too perhaps Culiatin. So 4 perhaps still in it, but they come down on the bell lap, and it's Clifford of Australia and Udadi of Spain. And Costin closing in fast. The NPA athlete is just a few metres behind, and now an effort coming from Udadi. Wants to go around the outside, does that. We saw Costin closing fast. Now Clifford has got a lot of work to do to hold on to him, but the reigning Paralympic champion is moving away from the field. Yassin Udadi El-Atabi of Spain has stretched it to 15 metres and extending it. Clifford being passed for second now by Alexander Costin of the NPA. Look over their shoulder, and they look to have third wrapped up, but coming down to the line to claim another Paralympic title. Udadi of Spain has judged his race beautifully. He coasts to the line and wins it. Then it's Costin, and Clifford just from the fast closing Culiatin. The bronze nearly eludes him. Udadi Too smart, too good, too strong. Clifford led for much of that race, but swamped by the brilliance of Udadi in that last lap and a bit.
Well, that was worth waiting for, wasn't it? I mean, they kept us on the edge of our seats for the first 3 quarters of that race, but that final quarter was worth hanging around for.
Well, they all spent plenty in the last few laps. Oh, what a finish. And Clifford, I think, had no idea that Kuliatin was closing so quickly. Just 0.2 between Clifford and Kuliatin in the end for the bronze medal, but let's give full credit to Udadi for a very smart race.
I mean, 1.5 minutes off his season's best. That just tells you this race was so tactical.
And who knows amongst the field when they go out there how it's going to be. They're all looking at each other. Who wants to take the pace? And if none of them wants it early, this is what you get.
Well, I imagine that Yassine Udadi El Tabi knew his ability to kick. We witnessed that, didn't we, on that final 300 meters. My goodness, what a surge. That was such a wonderful tactical performance, and he's now getting to share the moment with his family. A very special moment he's going to live. But look at this.
I'm not sure he's got accreditation, the young one, but
I think the staff will have their work cut out. If he can run anything like his father, he'll be able to stay away from any security.
Interesting that Costin moved into that silver medal position. He was 3rd in Tokyo. Here's a look at the finish as Costin just swept past Clifford, who looks worriedly over the shoulder to see where Kuliatin is. Way out in front is Udadi. He had the sprint. And recently turned 30. Really, that's in the prime for these runners. Costin, clear 2nd. And watch what happens on the line for 3rd. Here comes Kuliatin, and nearly got there. But it was a comfortable few last meters for Udadi, just as you'd like it to win the gold. Oh goodness, that was too close. When they take another look at that, Clifford will realise that the finish line was just close enough. Udadi comfortably. Costin impressive. So he improves from bronze to silver, does Costin. And Clifford was silver medalist in Tokyo and gets bronze. But here's the happiest man in the stadium at the moment, and the happiest young bloke as well. Yassine Udadi El Atabi of Spain in 15:50.64. Don't worry about the time, it's the result. Costin, NPA 2nd, and Clifford of Australia 3rd. And the fast finishing Kuliatin. Moretto led for a little while for Canada. Oh yeah, looked good early. Locady at times. Mikhail Al of Turkey didn't really feature like he might win it.
Concours du Javelin F13, on va maintenant entamer le 4e essai. Ça veut dire qu'on ne va garder que les 8 meilleures performances. C'est donc malheureusement Sheila Wanyoni et Yaziris Blandol Escobar.
So sometimes difficult stage managing a winning athlete around to where they need to go and when they need to make the exit.
Well, now we get a view of the world record holder, Gonzalez. There's some work to do. He's had a bit of pressure put on him early on in this men's F12 shot put. The 3rd attempt. He was sitting in 3rd position before this throw. Is that going to move him up the rankings? the reigning world champion with a 15.22 this year. He might need more than that if he's going to defend that title. A 15.6. Well, a season's best and a significant improvement on that first throw. And that does move him up, but it only moves him up one position. He still trails Sutanov on that 15.88. The Uzbekistani topping the field, but look at that. Season's best, 7 out of the 8 athletes with the season's best in the men's shot put final.
Athletes on the track for the women's 5,000 T54. Heather's just checking her heart rate. She's a bit excited about this race.
Oh, I can't wait. I mean, we just had a absolute treat there with the men's 5K, haven't we? And I think that's just a little inkling of what we might see. But who knows what the tactics are, how it's going to unfold. And as we just saw in that one, we have no idea.
Yeah. But people outside athletics think 5,000 metres, oh, they're just going round and round, and you know, how excited can you get about that? Well, and then you see a tactical race like that, and you know what it's really about. And should you have not been witnessing what's been going on with the bell, the winner at the track gets to ring this marvellous bell. And that's just a little bonus to winning. So 10 in the field for the 5,000 metres, and Susanna Scaroni start near the inside, outside a teammate Jenna Fessmeyer, but Scaroni, one of the hot favourites. Menya of Germany could feature as well. On the very outside, Qian Yujuan of China. 3 from Switzerland in this one. De Bruyne, Eckes-Shire. Madeline Di Rosario of Australia in lane 6. But let's go from the outside. 25-year-old Qian on the 24 Worlds.
Paralympic champion in the 400 meters T53 and 5-time world champion representing Switzerland.
Catherine De Bruyne. Pour la Suisse, Patricia Eches. Médaillée d'argent des derniers Jeux paralympiques pour la Suisse.
Double Paralympic champion and 2023 world champion representing Switzerland.
Manuela Scher. Pour l'Australie, Madison Rosario. Pour la Grande-Bretagne, Aiden Rainbow Cooper.
Rosario won the 800 and the marathon in Tokyo.
Pour l'Irlande, Shona Boquet. Pour l'Allemagne, Marie Régnier. Championne paralympique en titre et détentrice du record du monde pour les États-Unis d'Amérique.
Paralympic champion world and Paralympic record holder for the United States of America.
Susanna Scaroni.
And the one to beat, but plenty of pursuers.
C'est la finale du 100 000 mètres femmes T54.
The final of the women's T54 5,000 meters.
Well, crowd hoping, no doubt, for similar drama in this 5,000 to what they've just witnessed. It is the final of the women's 5,000 T54, and Scaroni second from the inside, not mucking around. Oh, and we've had a fall in the background, and they're going to stop the race. They are.
Les athlètes, chose extrêmement rare sur un 5000 mètres. On
So when the crash happens this early. Rainbow Cooper of Great Britain tumbled to the track and out of the chair, and when it happens, Heather, this early, then they will restart.
I'm just getting a quick review of what happened. And it's the jostling here and just catching the wheel of Shona Bokwe. So it was a collision between the British athlete and the Irish athlete. Eden Rainbow Cooper back in her chair, looking unscathed, but it'll be more of a mental trauma, that, trying to regain her composure.
And I think she was really caught between two athletes trying to close across the track. It may have been Shea on the outside, Bucket on the inside, and they'll wheel around to the start area and give it another attempt. Fortunately, Rainbow Cooper is okay, and she'll be hoping the chair is all right.
Well, that is certainly something they will have to check, just all the alignment of the wheels still running smoothly.
Well, if this was Formula One, they'd be back to the garage to get a fresh car, but it's not an option here, and sometimes think wheelchairs are built stronger than Formula One cars. They're a bit fragile, aren't they?
These are racing machines, these chairs, and
oh, absolutely,
very fine-tuned indeed.
I don't mean anything by that. I'm just having a crack really at the F1.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, Steve. I'm with you.
Yeah. And Scaroni actually got left a little bit at the start.
Well, I was going to say, it'll be interesting to see this as a, now almost the athletes have played their cards on the first start. Will we see a similar beginning unfold take two?
We saw the three Swiss in lane 7, 8 and 9 trying to get across early. And Rainbow Cooper is okay. That's the good news. A little shake of the head.
She's still just wanting to really make sure she's in a comfortable position. I mean, this race is going to take over 10 minutes. You want to make sure you're entirely ready.
Away we go this time. Second attempt. And it is the first of the Swiss. Shea leading across the track. Wants to set the pace early. Just as well, De Bruyne, in fact, from lane 9, leading from Shea and stringing them out early. This is a very strong start. De Rosario of Australia settling into third position.
Well, this couldn't be more opposite to what we witnessed earlier on in the Stade de France. They're on day 2 of the athletics.
So De Bruyne, it is by some 5 metres. One of her Swiss teammates, then De Rosario, and stringing them out. Perhaps they're trying to test Scaroni early, as the world record holder needs to be asked some questions if she's to be upset.
Well, this is fascinating tactics from Catherine De Bruyne. She's on paper the 3rd fastest in the field this year and in all time, but she, I think, just wanted to get the race sort of clear of any trouble, and maybe after that slightly shaky start, she just thought, right, I want to make sure it's strung out and we don't want any big packs forming, and now we've got a pack of 5, so this could be when the race starts to settle in and the athletes begin to work a bit together, because we have our favourites, as we can see. Not our personal favourites, but those who would be favourite to take the title today.
Shea it is, who leads a small group of 5, and fairly tight as they come around a home turn once more. De Rosario sitting in second, and looks like Scaroni has moved around to take the lead, and no surprise to see her in this position.
No, I mean, I think the only surprise, it took her a lap to get there, but she kept herself out of trouble, and it was such an experienced racer. She wouldn't have been threatened by that fast start we saw from De Bruyne.
Let's have a look at what's happening in the shot put.
Volodymyr Ponomarenko just outside the podium 3 years ago in Tokyo with that fourth. 14.96 he threw there. Well, 12.70 on his third throw, his first actual valid throw of this competition. Let's see what this fourth throw here has produced for the Ukrainian. It looks big. He's pretty happy with that. Incredibly happy with that. And no wonder, a 16.12 for the Ukrainian, a personal best, what a time to throw a lifetime best. And that puts him 1 centimetre ahead of his compatriot. Well, it's all going off in the field events as we now head to the women's javelin. The excitement going around on the outside on the track, but action and drama inside that. The women's F13. Dabrowskaya with her third attempt. Bronze medalist from the recent World Championships. Well, that's an improvement, and look at that, continual improvement for the neutral Paralympic athlete, putting herself into the silver medal position behind Zhao. But what an incredible lead by the reigning champion, 47.06. Puts her way out in front as we get to the final 2 throws to go in that women's javelin competition.
Back to the track and the women's 5,000, and Scaroni and De Bruyne. De Bruyne just edging to the front as they come down with 7 laps to go. They've dropped off half the field. It now looks to be a race in just 5, and perhaps turning it into a race in 2, De Bruyne and Scaroni. A couple of the other Swiss might have something to say about that, but just at the moment, De Bruyne and Scaroni have got a little bit of a gap. Shea, De Rosario, and each just there.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you can see De Rosario, the sort of the prickle between the 2 Swiss athletes there, the Australian making up that group, and it'll be interesting what, you know, if the Swiss have a bit of a team tactic, having 3 athletes at such a high level in this final. Do they have any team work that's going to go on to sort of try to push out the American and the Australian?
Well, the gap has stretched once more, with De Bruyne and Scaroni clearing out by some 25 metres, then back to De Rosario. Sultanov puts it out past 15 metres.
We were sitting at 15.88 before that. And we'll wait to see the confirmation of exactly how far past the 16-metre mark it was. Personal best of 15.49. And he knows he's just exceeded that. But how much of a margin is it enough to put him in the lead? 16.45. And Uzbekistan, Elbek Sultanov takes the lead in the men's shot put F12 Well, there's so many changes going on here in this men's shot put. One exciting final with 2 throws left to go.
So coming round into the home straight again, it's De Bruyne and Scaroni. De Bruyne just shifting to the outside to allow Scaroni to take a turn leading. So these two have got a sizable lead now, the best part of 100 metres over the pursuing 3 of Shea, Ishis and Di Rosario of Australia. And they're now starting to lap some of the slower competitors, De Bruyne and Scaroni. Scaroni leading. So this is going to turn into a very interesting last few laps, Heather. It's a completely different race to the previous 5,000 we witnessed.
It really is, and I'm really surprised at this. And I think Scaroni is getting a little frustrated. And here, look, she's coming out wide, and she's saying to Catherine De Bruyne, look, I'm not going to do all the work on the front here. And she's looking up at the big screen, and she'll know where the rest of the field are. And she's just been basically giving that draft benefit to the Swiss athlete, and she's just saying, I'm not going to do this and risk you coming past me for that final sprint because your arms are fresher than mine. And here now she's letting De Bruyne do the work. However, she doesn't want to let the pace back off and see that gap close, because they know they could return to a group of 5. So it's almost like the battle here for the gold and the silver, and then further back, which we'll see in a moment, we've got the battle of the 2 Swiss and the Australian, who potentially are battling for 1 medal in their group of 3.
And it's been these two for the last couple of laps, and they've really stretched this lead to well, almost half a lap. It's
I mean, this can happen when you've got this sort of group dynamics, and I'm amazed that Cher and Eustace and Rosario have let them get away this far. But it was almost probably they were all saying, no, you do the work, and by the time they've got themselves together as a group, that huge gap had opened up. And here we see the chasers, and I think now none of them want to do the work on the front to close that gap, so they're almost banking on, right, well, we're fighting for a bronze, and I'm not going to lead the group to try and close it, because then you're going to be fresher if you're sitting behind me. So it's a really interesting dynamic. You see this a lot in cycling events as well, when you've got that draft element, and it's so evident in wheelchair racing.
a move made now by Scaroni, really putting in some big pushes as they lap another couple in this women's 5,000, and they're coming down for the bell lap. Scaroni and De Bruyne, perhaps the 2 Swiss in the following group. So, well, we've got one up the front, and we're holding back Di Rosario to keep her out of it. But those tactics are just conjecture on our part, as Scaroni pushes hard into the back straight for the last time. Coming up on her outside is De Bruyne with something more to offer. And here comes Catherine De Bruyne of Switzerland, moves past the world record holder in Scaroni, and Scaroni struggling to respond at the moment. The gap is growing for De Bruyne.
Well, this is incredible tactics, isn't it, by the Swiss woman, and she timed it to perfection. Has Scaroni got anything to answer? And it doesn't look like she does, as the Swiss woman runs away with it.
And De Bruyne comes down to the line. Scaroni cannot answer. De Bruyne wins it convincingly. A marvellous race from the Swiss, Catherine De Bruyne. Scaroni second. And the race is on for this bronze medal. 2 Swiss and an Australian. Di Rosario pushing hard into third position now, but she's being challenged, but the line might be too close. Di Rosario down to the line for the bronze medal. And quickly into a fairly amicable chat, the gold and silver medalists. I don't think there's any ill feeling about who was drafting and who wasn't, but and Di Rosario comes over to congratulate them both. So De Bruyne of Switzerland, Scaroni USA, Di Rosario Australia. So that multiple medalists in this women's 5,000. A great contrast in how a couple of distance races can be. tactically approached.
Well, you might just be wondering about that new Paralympic record. Now, that is because Catherine de Bruyne is actually an T53 athlete, which makes it even more impressive that she beat the T54 on her way to that title.
So the Paralympic record goes the way of de Bruyne. A season best for Tian Yujuan of China. The 11:10 posted by Madison de Rosario, just outside her season best by some 4 seconds. 4 seconds wouldn't have made a difference today, though, with de Bruyne and Scaroni so far out in front. Crowd being treated to some great sport here in the Stade de France. We expected nothing less. On the track, in the field, tremendous sport as de Bruyne wraps herself in the Swiss flag.
Well, that was time to perfection, wasn't it? Wonderful tactical racing by Catherine de Bruyne. Susanna Scaroni set the pace early on.
Interesting contrast in their push rate, Heather. Just a little more frenetic contact with the wheel. Scaroni, a little more power, it seems, being applied by de Bruyne, which doesn't stack up with their classifications, but it was the case. She forwards to the front and stayed there. And then de Rosario, in this intriguing race for bronze, split the two Swiss and had enough left.
Well, those three would have known it was going to come down to a sprint for one medal between three of them, and de Rosario, in a sense, was the winner in that situation.
Yeah. A race within the race. What a great smile from Catherine de Bruyne. Won the T53 race in Tokyo, the 400 meters. So you know she's got a sprint in her if she's got something left. This way, well, she wants the photo with the scoreboard. That's fair enough too. Took something special to beat Scaroni, and de Bruyne supplied it.
Well, you can see how hard she's still breathing. That just shows the effort that went into that gold medal. But an effort that she'll remember for the rest of her life.
Not easy to do, smile big and breathe deep at the same time. But there's the result. Catherine de Bruyne of Switzerland in 10:43.62, setting a new Paralympic record for her classification from Susanna Scaroni just behind her. Madison de Rosario of Australia winning that great dash for third from Ishus and Shire of Switzerland.
Dans ce 5e essai pour Javelin F13.
De Bruyne.
Maintenant, c'est la cloche des champions paralympiques, Catherine de Bruyne.
Well, used to bells in Switzerland.
Absolutely. A ring of
quite often found around the neck of the cows.
Yes, I was thinking of that.
A lovely sound out in the mountains, isn't it?
New Paralympic champion, new Paralympic record holder, Catherine de Bruno, her turn.
Confirming the result for you. And Eden Rainbow Cooper actually did not finish after that unfortunate incident in the first attempt at the start. She did line up for the restart, but did not finish the race.
Well, look at this woman's performance. The score of that second throw tells you all you need to know, 47.06. The previous record was held by Zhao Yuping herself at a 46. She bettered that by over a metre. And I feel like now it's just a more matter of performance, enjoying the moment. She hasn't bettered it on that fifth attempt. But the rest of the fields are left in the wake of Zhao Yuping, her closest competitor, over 10 metres behind at the moment. And I think Zhao Yuping can feel relaxed in that leading position. We might see something special on that final throw, but she has nothing left to prove in this competition. It is a matter of celebration, I feel, for the team of China. Well, there is confirmation in the lead by 10.5 metres ahead of Punic Sorakina from the neutral para athletes, but it's still very close with Ida, the Austrian, not far behind in third. So positions still can change with the sixth throw yet to go in this women's F13 javelin competition.
82 into our fourth athlete throwing. Each athlete has 6 consecutive throws, 12 athletes in this field. Of Uzbekistan next to throw.
Hector Cabrera Losa, the bronze medalist from Tokyo. What can he do as we get towards the end of this men's F12 competition? Doesn't look too enthused with his effort on that attempt. He's seen himself sitting in 8th place before that. And this, his final attempt. Can he move up the leaderboard? 12.92, his best so far, and he hasn't improved on that. His best effort came on the second throw. 11.91 will be the final effort for the Spaniard. And he will complete the competition, finishing in 8th place in this final. Amenaz Blom sitting in 7th. Well, 13.16. It's his best throw. He's only just produced that throw, so it could be time to put it all together. 15.15, his best this season, so 2 meters off that. And not getting close to his season's best or his personal best. And he would have needed something better than that if he's going to threaten the medals today. He was the world champion back in 2017. Well, enjoying his moment at Paralympic Games. He's going to now sit and watch as the rest of the field battle it out, but we are going in reverse order. Stefan Dmitrijevic from Serbia on his final throw. 14.60 is the score that's counting at the moment. That puts him in this 6th position. And we're seeing that 15-meter mark very clearly, and the athletes to get on the podium need to be going well past that, as the bronze medal score currently is sitting at 16 meters and 11 centimeters. So unless we see anything well over 15, we know that's not going to be threatening for the podium. This is the final throw we're seeing for these athletes. Stefan Dmitrievich hasn't managed to do anything special with that final throw. It was a 14.60, his best on that fourth attempt, and that will be his leading score as he returns to his seat. We take a look at the women's discus throw for the F57. And it is Mokil Kamdamova who takes her second attempt. Now the athletes do all of their 6 throws in one go in these seated throwing competitions. Kamdamova, 32.75 with her second attempt. She is the reigning Paralympic champion. Now it's an interesting format because she basically has to set the standard and see if she can defend that from her position, so to speak, and she won't be able to react to it if any bigger throws come later on in the competition.
Uzbekistan having a strong Paralympic Games with the throwing events, collecting medals along the way through the opening sessions at Stade de France. We've got in the background there in the back straight, athletes preparing for the men's 1500 T46 and 16 in that race. We'll get to it shortly. Three field events simultaneously underway. And more people making their way to Stade de France to take in this action. And there's going to be plenty of it in this next race. The men's 1500 T46. World record holder Michael Roger is in the field. It's been a little while since he's got near that 3:46.51 he set in February 2017. And a big field of 16. Athletes from Denmark, Uganda, Kosovo, Chile, Sri Lanka, Great Britain, Algeria, Tunisia, Burundi, Kenya. France have Antoine Prod in the field. Bulgaria's Stoyanov, a real chance. From Rwanda, Emmanuel Niabitsi. So 16, Heather, that can make for a bit of jostling, especially early on.
It really can. Positioning here in a race like this is so important. And I mean, with only 3 3/4 laps to find your position at the front of the race. It's always a nervous moment at the start of these track races.
Christian Olsen, tall man on the inside, far right of screen. David Imong of Uganda beside him. But on the outside, Niabizi of Rwanda. Stoyanov, 3:49.50 already this season. Dinsa of Ethiopia, 5th in Tokyo. Working the crowd as you would. Leslie Sung from Burundi. Ugabi from Tunisia. 20 years ago won this race in Athens, Nouya. Nuttall from Great Britain.
Champion paralympique à Tokyo en 2020, athlète paralympique neutre.
Reigning world and Paralympic champion, neutral Paralympic athlete.
Alexander Yaremchuk.
Yaremchuk's had a season best of 3:48. Puak Pitakande of Sri Lanka.
Médaille d'argent des championnats de Paris en 2023 pour l'Australie.
World bronze medalist and world record holder from Australia.
Michael Roger.
Roger, 36 years of age now, from Adelaide.
Kosovo, Grevitz Pitisi. Uganda, David Eborg.
Pitisi has a strong season best. Might be figuring here, the man from Kosovo. David Imong from Uganda and Christian Olsen of Denmark.
Place à la finale du 1500 mètres T46 hommes ici au Stade de France.
The line-up for the final of the men's T46 1500 metres.
You're busy, almost starting out in the crowd on the far left of your screen. Anyway, they're drawn up to the start line. Starter not happy. Not sure if there'll be any kind of a card shown here.
It might have been just the athletes being able to hear the starter. I don't know, it's very loud in the crowd. They're excited to see the representation of France in this track race. Antoine Prade certainly has his support. Very audible, isn't it?
Underway at the second try in the men's 1500 T46. Roger up into a lead early in the yellow shirt for Australia. And Stoyanov of Bulgaria just behind him. Prade sitting in about third place at the moment. Enyabisi of Rwanda also featuring early. And you want to stay out of trouble, but there is trouble as an athlete goes down. Well, we mentioned it's a big field. He's back up and running. So, and catching up to the field as well as the crowd gives him a big hand. It might have been Sang of Kenya. Anyway, Roger leads it through with 3 laps to go. And Stoyanov still with him.
Well, we can expect drama does happen in a 1500-meter race, and we're just about to see that replay. Just not sure who he caught with that, but quick recovery. It's always good to see.
It was a Goubi of Tunisia who fell and able to rejoin the race. It's Roger leading it by a couple of meters now from Stoyanov. Looking reasonably comfortable, and then it's Sang of Kenya in third place. Enyabisi still going well for Rwanda in the blue singlet. Roger and Stoyanov trying to string them out. Stoyanov making a little bit of a move towards Roger. Roger responding. With 2 laps to go.
Well, this is more drawn out than we would expect for a 1500-meter race. You normally see a few more groups, but this pace has been set, hasn't it, by Michael Roger.
He's trying to go to the well one more time. He mentioned he's the world record holder, but that was set 7 years ago. He was 3rd in Rio, 6th in Tokyo in the marathon, and he's stretching them out here. Pursuers starting to come.
Well, this could well be a sign that he doesn't have faith in his sprint, and he wants to set the pace early on and doesn't want to wait for a tactical race. And what a bold move it is to run a 1500 metres like this.
So Roger's got about a 15-metre lead as he comes down to receive the bell. But the chasers are coming. He's got a lot to do, even though he's comfortably in the front. Stoyanov starting to surge again. And Yaremchuk, the defending champion from Tokyo. He's starting to run as well pretty quickly down the back straight, but if anything, Roga has stretched the lead. Roga is going to take some catching, but Yaramchuk is coming after him.
Look at the rate that Yaramchuk has just gone past. That is incredible. Stoyanov now trailing in third, and this gap is closing, but has he left it too late? Has Michael Roga done enough to be able to hold off the neutral Paralympic athlete?
Roga is holding his form as he comes into the home straight. Yaramchuk is after him with all he's got. Roga digging deep. Yaramchuk coming at him. Yaramchuk's going to catch him, I think. Yaramchuk around the outside. And a great race for the Frenchman coming up on Roga. Roga staggering. And France gets third. What a finish, Yaramchuk. Class. He's done it again, Yaramchuk. Roga holding on.
What a finish that was for Antoine Proud.
Oh,
the crowd were going wild there.
They were going crazy as they saw his move down the home straight. Antoine Proud featuring in a great finish. Yaramchuk left it nearly too late. Roga had a race plan and it so nearly paid off.
Oh my goodness, I need to watch that replay again. That was one incredible finish, wasn't it? And what a gutsy race from Michael Roga. But when it comes to tactics, I mean, the French were rewarded there, weren't they? Antoine Proud, we didn't really even talk about him until those final 50 metres when suddenly he came into that bronze medal position. So much to talk about.
Yeah. Yaramchuk won the World Championship this year. He won in Tokyo. His credentials, his pedigree, very clear, but he left himself quite a bit to do on that last lap with Roga so far in front. And congratulations to Michael Roga for taking it to this world-class field and finishing with second position in 3:51.
That was 900ths of a second that side of the Paralympic record, that performance by Yaramchuk.
Well, so Yaramchuk 3:50.24. He's run faster than that this season, but here's the finish down the home straight. Roga realizes he's not got much left. Yaramchuk comes up and passes him, but watch for Proud coming down to the line, nearly snatching the silver from the Australian. Proud and Roga, oh, another 5 metres, it would have been a different story.
You've got to feel for Stoyanov, who was in medal position for the majority of that race until those final few metres, stolen by Antoine Proud.
Well, if anything, Roga almost drifting into the racing line of Proud, but he's exhausted. He doesn't know where his legs are going to land next, and it's second for Roga, third for Proud, and Yaramchuk full of running at the end of this amazing 1500. Arms out, I can do this. Staggering to the line, Roga, and a gallant third from Antoine Proud to thrill the French crowd. Roga disappointed. He had the race for so much of the running. And Yaramchuk back to back.
And take a breath. What a treat on the track today.
Yeah. We had a fall. We had a repeat champion, Yaramchuk, NPA in 3:50.24 from Roga and Proud. And a shout out to Bachir Agubi, who fell and still beat a couple home. One excited, happy, and perhaps relieved winner, as he had to do quite a bit in the last 200 metres. It's fine entertainment at Stade de France. We've seen all different ways that these distance races can be run and won.
of Algeria with a new Paralympic record in the women's discus F57. 35 metres, 55. Season's best and Paralympic records into the lead.
We've got the first of our victory ceremonies today.
Ladies and gentlemen, the victory ceremony for men's shot put F55.
Vous accueillir les médaillés.
Please welcome the medalists.
Men's shot put F55.
Les médailles seront remises par
The medals will be presented by
Monsieur Georges Duac, vice-président du Conseil des athlètes du Comité international paralympique.
IPC Athletes Council Vice Chair.
Accompagné par
Accompanied by
Monsieur Johan Lefou, premier adjoint au maire de la ville de Versailles.
First Deputy Mayor of Versailles.
Médaillé de bronze, représentant de la Pologne.
Bronze medalist representing Poland, Lex Stoltman.
39-year-old from Poland, Lex Stoltman, with his second throw, 11 meters 90. Bronze medalist from Tokyo, bronze in Paris. So well done. Back-to-back medals.
Médaille d'argent, représentant de la République islamique d'Iran.
Silver medalist representing Islamic Republic of Iran, Zafar Zakir.
And Zafar Zakir of Islamic Republic of Iran installed into second place. There was a disqualification. Nebojša Đurić was sitting in the silver medal position, but the result has been adjusted to allow Zafar Zakir to take the silver medal. The world record holder in this event, Rusdi of Bulgaria.
Médaille d'or et champion paralympique, représentant de la Bulgarie.
Gold medalist and Paralympic champion representing Bulgaria, Rusdi.
And he proved too good once more, Rusdi, throwing 12 meters 40 in the third round. Well, 28 centimeters short of his world record. That's neither here nor there when it's the result that matters. Throw 12.40, 12.34 and 12.36. He was way too good. Won it by over 50 centimeters. Or half a meter if that sounds bigger to you.
and gentlemen, if you can, please stand for the anthem of Bulgaria.
Rushdie led the event and fairly early on, and fairly convincing victor in the end. From the Islamic Republic of Iran and Poland, Zakur and Stoltman, silver and bronze. Rushdie actually won the F55 shot put in Rio, 12:33. We actually have 8 victory ceremonies in this session. We just had one of them so far. We scheduled to have another one almost immediately from another throwing event, the men's F37 shot put. Well, considering the skies above us, it's a bonus that we're dry. It's humid, not particularly warm day, and ideal for competition, and oh, haven't we had some, and plenty more to come.
Mesdames et messieurs, la cérémonie des vainqueurs du lancer du poids masculin F37.
Ladies and gentlemen, the victory ceremony for the men's shot put F37.
The F37 shot put was a marvellous event.
Please welcome the medalists.
It did feature the 2024 world champion in Kudratilakon, Mara Kufjayev.
The medals will be presented by
Dr Robert Stidward, reconnaissant sa vie président du comité international paralympique de 1989 à 2001.
Lifetime recognition, IPC president, 1989 to 2001.
Accompagné par
Accompanied by
Monsieur Paul Beard, président du comité paralympique d'Océanie.
President of the Oceania Paralympic Committee.
Médaillé de bronze, représentant l'Ouzbékistan.
Bronze medalist representing Uzbekistan, Toliboy Yoldashev.
So Toliboy Yoldashev was the leader of this final for a short while with his 15.24. At 5 fair throws. And a big personal best from Yuldashev. 15.24. Previous best was 14.62. Well over half a metre clear of his previous longest attempt. And it would prove a good day for Uzbekistan.
Médaille d'argent représentant la Tunisie.
Silver medalist representing Tunisia, Ahmed Ben Moussa.
Silver medalist from Tokyo, Ahmed Ben Moussa of Tunisia. Actually won a world championship last year with a 15.59. That would still have only been good enough for silver. I say only. Fantastic achievement for Ben Moussa as he backs up silver from Tokyo with another in Paris.
Médaille d'or, champion paralympique représentant l'Ouzbékistan.
Gold medalist and Paralympic champion representing Uzbekistan,
Kudratilakon Marafajayev, world champion this year with a 15.68. But he had more to give here with a personal best of 16.37. Almost 0.7 of a metre improvement. When he did that throw in round 5, so well, that's going to be good enough, and he could just watch and wait and not even bother with his final attempt in the 6th round. Too good, Marafajayev.
if you can, please stand for the anthem of Uzbekistan.
Gold and bronze it was for Uzbekistan. Marafajayev and Yuldashev split by Ahmed Ben Moussa of Tunisia. The men's F37 shot put.
Lizaveta Davroblskaya from the neutral para athletes attempts her final throw. Bronze at the World Championships earlier this year in Japan. That was certainly big. Her best this year, a 38.44. Might have been close to her season's best. Her personal best, 38.99, maybe just shy of a personal best there. Celebrated by the coach. Is it enough? That was the final attempt. And it looks like that puts her into the silver medal position. She can now just sit back and watch and wait to see what the final few throws can do from her fellow competitors. And this is a harsh thing in throwing once you've had your final attempt. You just have to sit and watch. And Ida takes her final throw now. 36.35, her best so far. And it looks as though she might have just saved the best to last, the Austrian. She was sitting just outside the medals with that 5th attempt. And if our graphics anything to go by, she has just put herself into a medal position. And there it is confirmed, a 37.22. And she is confirmed to have a medal, whatever happens next, with just 2 athletes left to throw. Natalija Ida, at 44 years of age, has added another bronze medal to her collection. She was just outside the medals, 4th in Tokyo, won a bronze in London, a bronze in Rio, and now she has added another bronze medal to her collection in the F13 women's javelin competition. Well, that confirms the final. Zhao Yuping with that world record, untouchable out in front with a 47.06. Anna Kulinic-Sorakina, the silver, and we just saw the bronze from Natalia Ida.
Bronze medalist at the last 2 World Championships from Japan.
Nasima Safi, the woman to beat coming into this competition. A total of 8 World Championship golds, 7 of them in the discus. Well, her best throw this year, 33.90. And that was better than the Paralympic record, which stands at 33.33 going into this competition. And she looks delighted with that performance. An opener of 35.55. She has just opened with a Paralympic record on her very first throw. Well, that has certainly set things up brilliantly. She just went ahead of Pam Damova, who we saw earlier with that great throw of 32.75. Zhu of China, 31.98. And that's as it stands at the moment. A great view of the stadium. We've got 3 throwing events going on inside the track. And we'll soon have the long jump event to add to all the activity here in the Stade de France.
Slightly hazy day over the Stade de France in the region of Saint-Denis, just to the north of central Paris.
With a new personal best set this season from South Africa.
Seen many great moments in sport, this stadium, especially in football, rugby, but in the last few weeks, Paris 2024 has taken over. It's been an interesting push by the Paris Olympic and Paralympic committees to do more of a merge job on the two sets of games, to cross over with the torch, to cross over with the athletes, the cauldron, and to make more of a together kind of feel about the Olympics and Paralympics, which as someone who's been to a few, I completely applaud.
Zhao Yuping with that world record in the women's Javelin F13. Set it on that opening throw, beating her previous of 46 meters. An incredible performance by the athlete from China. Elbek Sultanov taking the gold in the men's Shot Put F12. Well, he went 2 steps better from that bronze back in Tokyo 3 years ago. And Uzbekistan having a great Paralympic Games inside the Stade de France and enjoying every moment of it.
Yes, if you can't get to the Notre Dame, at least ring a bell that's going to go there, and that's that one. Here we go. We've got some 100 heats. T38. Round 1, heat 1, 9 in this one. So the first 3 in each heat and the next 2 fastest advance to the final. The Frenchwoman Sophia Pace is in this one. We'll have the world record holder in Sophie Hahn of Great Britain in the second heat. In this we've got France, Germany, Great Britain, Japan, Australia, Colombia, Greece. A 22-year-old from Duisburg. A 16-year-old in the field. Ave won the 400 in Tokyo. Party, Rio bronze in the 4x100. Second in Tokyo. Mantopoulou, personal best of 12.62. Looking at PBs, we have to look at Jimenez Sanchez in lane 8. There's a strong chance here. First 3 to go through. And the next 2. T38, first heat, women's 100. Olivia Breen looking more than ready for a start here. Great Britain represented in 3 and 5. If Jimenez Sanchez in lane 8 gets a good start, she'll take some catching. Palais F France in 1. did get a good start second from the outside, but so too did Olivia Breen in lane 3. The Brits running well, Maddie Down also, and also Manthopoulos of Greece flying down the outside, and she takes it from Jimenez Sanchez. Manthopoulos, well, she's run a 12.62 best, and she's run a new best of 12.53, shaving a 10th off. And then Jimenez Sanchez 12.70, and then Maddie Down 12.93. Oh, got a bit of a shock there, I think. Jimenez Sanchez on her outside. Manthopoulos. Jimenez Sanchez made a nice start, Heather, but Manthopoulos, what a middle of the race she ran.
Well, we really weren't keeping our eye on the outside of the track there, were we? And that was incredible. I mean, I wonder if she was really helped by being next to Jimenez Sanchez, of just having that pacing, and she just came up alongside and really opened up by the second half of that race. And I wonder what Jimenez Sanchez will be thinking going into the final, because that was an awakening.
Maddie Down 3rd, Olivia Breen 4th, Lindy Ave of Germany 5th, Ella Pardy of Australia 6th, Nele Moose, Sophia Pache and Takamatsu of Japan. But absolutely flying Manthopoulos.
It was that second half of the race, wasn't it, for the Greek woman? And she, here we go from this view, she's alongside Jimenez Sanchez, just sort of off her shoulder, and about the halfway mark here is where she takes control and then just opens up that lead, and Jimenez Sanchez nothing to answer for in those final few meters.
Well, Breen and Down for Great Britain made great starts, but what a beautiful action. Manthopoulos, tall, strong, long striding. Well, a star arrives.
Well, it'll be a nervous wait for Olivia Breen, potentially for Lindy Ave as well, as we see our automatic qualifiers.
Yes, Manthopoulos, Jimenez Sanchez and Maddie Down automatically through. First 3 and next 2 fastest qualifiers. Well, Great Britain with 1 in the final for sure, perhaps Breen, but they'll have high hopes and high expectations out of the second heat with Sophie Hahn. We'll get to that shortly.
Van Gansenwinkel with a personal best in her first round jump. 5 meters 87. Wind reading of plus 1.5, line of everything over plus 2.5 is seen as.
Athletes getting ready for the second of 2 heats. Ekla on your far left there from Hungary. Chen of China, this is left to right, and then Broza of Germany. Sophie Hahn will start in lane 1. 12.38 is the world record, and Gumares of the USA beside her. Rhiannon Clark, Australian lane 4. NPA athlete Goncharova in lane 3. Palomeka Moreno, Colombia. Tall athlete in lane 5. Gonzalez of Argentina. Then Broza of Germany. Chen of China. And Ekla of Hungary. Katerina Gomara is enjoying the music. Relaxing and about to switch on. Looking absolutely focused is the 27-year-old from Nottingham, Sophie Hahn.
Au couloir 5 pour la Colombie, Karen Tatiana Palomeke Moreno. Au couloir 6 pour l'Argentine, Vilagros del Valle González. Au couloir 7 pour l'Allemagne, Friederike Rose. Au couloir 8, République populaire de Chine, Shen Zimo. Au couloir 9, la championne du monde en titre pour la Hongrie.
World champion and reigning Paralympic champion in the long jump, representing Hungary.
Hector Luca. C'est la deuxième série du 100 mètres femmes T38.
Line up for Heat 2, the T38 women's 100 metres.
All right then, field introduced. Second heat, another 3 to go through, plus the 2 fastest qualifiers. Camera's naturally drawn to the world record holder Sophie Hahn in lane 1. Palomekwe of Colombia in lane 5. Can go quickly. And Pace got away very well in lane 1 and leads them immediately. Palomekwe sets out after her. So too in lane 3, Goncharova. And Palomekwe is catching pace and maybe going past her and easing down on the line. And out in lane 9, Ekla of Hungary also finished well. I just had a feeling that the Colombian, tall, strong, and a Pan American Para Games success last year. Palomekwe won the 200 at the World Championships, so she's got the pace, and did Sophie Hahn on that occasion.
And the results on the big screen you can see mean that also the 4th and 5th place finishers from this race.
So Palomekwe 12:45. That is quick.
Rhiannon Clark from Australia with a new area record, 12.78.
Rhiannon Clark finishing 4th in 12:78. Ekla 12:63. Hahn 12:52.
Should be enough to see her through to the final.
Sur l'écran géant, la confirmation des résultats de cette deuxième série du 100 mètres.
It looks like Rhiannon Clark will get through. The pace began beautifully, but Palomekwe, and on the outside Ekla, very impressive.
Oh yeah, Sophie Hahn did have that strong start, as you see out over at the top of your picture. It was almost leading at halfway, but then it was Palomekwe Moreno pushing through in those final stages. Incredibly quick time for a qualifier. We don't necessarily see in the heats season's best and personal best in the form of the Colombian.
Quite a different mindset for the athletes running 1st and 2nd, and know they are, to those running 3rd and 4th thinking, I have to push right through, as Rhiannon Clark did there. And Clark has qualified, so, and so too Goncharova out of that second heat.
Well, that was a quick second heat, wasn't it? And that is the proof of it there.
That does a favour to the runners chasing those qualifying positions, such as Clark and Goncharova.
Well, it sets it up for an exciting final, doesn't it, this women's T38?
So up on the big screen you can see confirmation of the qualifiers through to the final of the T38 women's 100 metres. Those 2 next fastest time qualifiers, Goncharova and Clark.
Plastic Bertrand getting another workout. He's very prominent throughout the Olympic fortnight with the "Ça plane pour moi." It's all right by me is a sort of a kind of an interpretation.
It's very catchy. It's sort of, you find yourself just move, you can't help but move to it, can you?
You can't do it.
Come on, crowd.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a little girl there on your right-hand side of your picture. She's loving it.
Yeah.
I'm feeling her vibes. We return to the women's discus throw, the seated F57. Zhu Mian from China taking her 5th throw. .31.90 was her 4th attempt. Which had seen her currently move into the silver with that 31.90. And she's just gone almost another meter further, 32.81, and that's a personal best for the silver medalist from Tokyo. And she's got one final attempt. Can she find another 3 meters? That is a big ask. Well, she won the silver 3 years ago, and she's currently sitting in that silver medal position right now.
Some of the younger people in the audience, this music's just a bit too old for them, but I'm of an age.
I think we can all still enjoy it,
yeah,
whatever
right.
age we are.
You're going to go my way, yeah.
Profitons de ces quelques instants pour nous tourner vers le saut en longueur où l'Australienne Roche vient d'effectuer son premier essai.
We still have some field events going, and it's attempt number 1 in the long jump for Marleen van Gansevinkel, the bronze medalist from the last 2 Paralympic Games in Rio and in Tokyo. Season's best of 5 meters and 60. This her opening jump. And that looked a great way to set things off. She is celebrating after her first attempt. 5.82 is her personal best. And it looks as though she could be really pushing that with her opener.
She's made the most of the board, and she knew it was good. The athletes know.
They keep us waiting, and here we go, a 5.87. Well, that is a personal best by 5 centimeters on her opening jump at the Paralympic Games. What a way to start.
Oh, and Fleur Zhong, you've got to enjoy her jumping. She's just a brilliant athlete in this event.
Well, she will have been buoyed on, no doubt, by watching her teammate set things off with a great start. How will Zhong react? Her opening jump. The reigning Paralympic champion takes to the runway. Oh, well, what a wonderful opener for the Dutch woman, Fleur Zhong. 6.53 her best this year. 6.74 her personal best. Well, from that glimpse that we saw, I think she left plenty of room from the board. And that means we could well see the jump improve. She's happy with that as a starting point. 6 meters, 20 centimeters, and that is a Paralympic record from the off. I think we could see that broken again a few more times as this women's long jump progresses.
Well, she looks in the mood, happy, confident, and oh goodness, the Netherlands 1, 2, 3. It's only early. They've set out a mark for others to catch. Nakanishi of Japan at 4.90, the nearest of the pursuers.
Ladies and gentlemen, the victory ceremony for the men's 5,000 meters T13.
Well, what a race this was.
Please welcome the medalists.
internationale paralympique 1989-2001.
Lifetime recognition IPC President 1989 to 2001.
Accompagné
by
Madame Amina Mouilly, 14e adjointe au maire de la Courneuve, déléguée aux solidarités et à l'inclusion sociale.
14th Deputy Mayor of La Courneuve, delegate for Solidarity for Social Inclusion.
Médaillé de bronze, athlète paralympique neutre.
Bronze medalist, neutral Paralympic athlete, Anton Palais.
Well, we've had news that Jared Clifford has been disqualified. He was third across the line, and so Kuliatin has been promoted to third position, and the neutral Paralympic athlete who was so close to Clifford but clearly behind him, but on our screens now we're seeing a disqualification against Clifford, and we'll wait for news. I'm sorry I can't bring it to you just yet as to why that disqualification has happened. I did think at the finish that he ran slightly across the racing line of the man who's now been given third. But Alexander Kostin is the silver medalist, and that is the only explanation that immediately springs to mind. We did mention at the time, oh gosh, he did move across a little bit. Did that influence the result? It's been decided something has, if not that. So Alexander Kostin, 29-year-old, finished in 15:52.36.
Médaillé d'or et champion paralympique représentant l'Espagne.
Gold medalist and Paralympic champion representing Spain, Yassine El-Attaabi.
In what was a very unusual race, very slow at the start. I think Yassine El-Attaabi, he's seen it all, unfazed by early pace, whatever it might be. He had the finish to swamp the field and win it comfortably, impressively, and what a victory. So a double gold medalist. He won it in Tokyo, he's won it in Paris.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you can, please stand for the anthem of Spain.
Mesdames et messieurs, les médaillés paralympiques.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Paralympic medalists.
So confirming the T13 men's 5,000 going to Yassine El-Attaabi of Spain. Neutral Paralympic athletes Alexander Kostin and Anton Kuliatin, silver and bronze. Australia's Jared Clifford, despite a third place finish across the line, has been DQ'd. It's very sad news for Jared, but at the time it did look as though just meters from the line on exhausted legs he may have strayed in front of Kuliatin. But that's just a speculation on our behalf as to why he's lost out on that third position. He also had a change of guide mid-race, whether something untoward happened at that moment. Anyway, there'll be an explanation forthcoming. Just clarify, Clifford was second across the line, so he's been disqualified, and so too the Frenchman. So but the French athlete doesn't even appear on our screens. So it's, apologies for the confusion, but we've got an incomplete story out of that men's 5,000. Clifford has been disqualified, and the French athlete.
Mesdames et messieurs, la cérémonie des vainqueurs du 5000 mètres féminin T54.
Ladies and gentlemen, the victory
That was in a separate race. Yeah, it wasn't Clifford's race, the Frenchman. Yeah. So no, that's all right. Yeah.
Well, now we move on to the women's 5,000 meter T54 victory ceremony, and that was another one of those nail-biting races on the track that we've had this session. What a performance it was from Scaroni and De Bruyne. The two wheelchair athletes took the race on from the start, and it was a battle for the gold between those two. A battle for the bronze between Cher, Eustace and De Rosario.
Gouverneur général du Commonwealth d'Australie.
Governor General of the Commonwealth of Australia.
Accompagné by Madame Christina Molloy, responsable des adhésions et de l'impact du Comité international paralympique.
Chief Membership and Impact Officer, International Paralympic Committee.
Médaillé de bronze représentant l'Australie.
Bronze medalist representing Australia, Madison De Rosario.
Fifth in Tokyo, fourth in Rio, and this time on the podium. The bronze medal goes to Madison De Rosario. The Australian won a bronze medal at the World Championships. And now the emotion of winning a bronze medal at the Paralympic Games in this 5K is really showing through. What a special moment it is. She won the gold in the 800 and in the marathon in Tokyo. And with the 5 kilometers sitting somewhere in the middle of that, she adds that medal to her collection. Huge smile by the 30-year-old.
Silver medalist representing the United States of America, Susanna Scaroni.
What a gutsy performance it was for Susanna Scaroni. Came in as the world record holder and the Paralympic record holder. She keeps that world record. She adds a silver medal at Paris 2024 to her collection at her third Paralympic Games. She was the defending champion. And she went out hard from the start, but she couldn't shake Catherine de Bruyne off her wheel. And the world champion, now silver medalist, as well as that gold she won 3 years ago in this women's 5,000 metres. Susanna Scaroni.
Gold medalist and Paralympic champion representing Switzerland, Catherine de Bruyne.
It was a tactical performance by Catherine de Bruyne that won her the Paralympic title in this women's 5,000 metres. She went out from the front, set the race very early, and then it was Scaroni who went with her. The two of them found themselves breaking away from the rest of the field, and that was when Catherine de Bruyne then played the tactical game and came round the outside of Susanna Scaroni in that final 200 metres, showing absolute power down the finishing straight to secure the gold medal and the Paralympic title in this women's 5,000 T54.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you can, please stand for the anthem of Switzerland.
The national anthem of Switzerland. Catherine de Bruyne, her first gold medal of these Paralympic Games. She is competing in 6 events in total, 5 more to go. Can she add more medals to her tally? But an impressive start for Catherine de Bruyne, the gold medalist in the women's 5,000, joined on the podium by Susanna Scaroni, and that silver medal for USA, and the bronze for Madison de Rosario.
Fleur John at the long jump.
Opened with a 6 meters 20. That was a Paralympic record, but it feels like she might be just warming up.
Oh yes, she is.
Well, look at that, flying past her opening jump. And still so much room for improvement as she gets a little closer to that board. 6 meters 74 is her personal best. But that Paralympic record, 6:16, was smashed, and she smashed it again. 6:52. She's getting close to her personal best. That's just a second jump. If we keep seeing improvements like this, who knows what we'll see by the end of this competition.
Still the Netherlands, 1, 2, 3.
Mesdames et messieurs, la cérémonie des vainqueurs du 1500 mètres masculin T46.
Ladies and gentlemen, the victory ceremony for the men's 1500 metres T46.
So the victory ceremony for the 1500, the men's T46. A fascinating race. Alexander Yaramchuk with a withering finish. Michael Roger just holding off Frenchman Antoine Prode.
Les médailles sont remises par
The medals will be presented by
Madame Christina Molloy, responsable des adhésions de l'impact du Comité international paralympique.
Chief Membership and Impact Officer, International Paralympic Committee.
Accompagné par
Accompanied by
Dr David Still, membre du comité exécutif de l'Agitos Fondation.
Executive Committee of the Agitos Foundation.
Médaille de bronze représentant la France.
Bronze medalist.
Well, Antoine Prode didn't really feature in the race until he did, which was with about 50 meters to go. He flew down the home straight and all but took the silver medal. Have you ever seen a happier bronze medalist? Well, in a Stade de France that's 100% behind him, he is just loving this moment. A 20-year-old, 10th at the Worlds last year, 3rd at the Paralympics.
Silver medalist representing Australia, Michael Roger.
And Roger led this event for so long, possibly just took it out a little too hard, because he was caught and passed by Yaramchuk in the last 50 meters, but justifiably thrilled with the silver medal. 3rd in this event in Rio, and still the world record holder.
Gold medalist and Paralympic champion, neutral Paralympic athlete Alexander Yaramchuk.
Yaramchuk, Tokyo champion, current world champion, Paralympic champion again. You know, it could have been easy to panic when Roger had such a sizable lead coming into that bell lap. But Yaramchuk knew what he had left, and it proved to be enough. Finishing in 3:50.24.
Mesdames et messieurs, si vous le pouvez, veuillez vous lever pour l'hymne paralympique.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand if you're able for the Paralympic anthem.
Mesdames et messieurs, les médaillés paralympiques.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Paralympic medalists.
still have some action on the track to come. We'll have 4 heats for the men's 400 T11, and field events still in progress at Stade de France in this early session. Day 2 of para-athletics. I don't think Paris's reputation as the most visited city in the world will have changed in the last couple of months. There's a lot of people around having a great time and now enjoying Paralympics Paris 2024.
Retour du concours de son longueur avec Annie Carré en bout de sautoir qui va s'élancer.
Well, here's the standings for the women's long jump T64 at the moment. Fleur Jong has in front with that Paralympic record that she's broken twice already. 6:52, the jump to beat. As Hendricks on her 3rd attempt, sitting in that bronze position before that attempt. 1, 2, 3 for the Netherlands.
Oh, that's close.
Is that going to get the white flag? We need to wait to see the plasticine. This is her debut in the long jump. Obviously focused on the 100 meters. And a pretty special debut so far for the Dutch woman. Kiki Hendricks, just 23 years of age, and what experience in the Dutch team as Gansewinkel and Jong lead the way. That was a no jump on that 3rd attempt, so she still sits in that bronze medal position, and it is still a 1, 2, 3 for the Netherlands. But we do see a mover. We've got Annie Carey from the USA, who's just moved up to 4th, pushing down the 2 Japanese athletes into 5th and 6th.
Action again on the track, and we've got 4 heats of the men's 400 T11. And first in each heat and the next 4 fastest advance to the semi-finals. So it's a bit of a process. And Shikongo and Guy Juju are in the inside lane in this first heat. So we've got Namibia, France, Uzbekistan and Brunei.
Time for the first round of the T11 men's 400 meters.
Makunda, Gautier Makunda and his guide Lucas Matona. Uzbekistan, Oganchpek, Egam Nazarov. And in the outside, Hussein Mohammed and Abdallah Jimel for Brunei.
Couleur numéro 5, représentant l'Ouzbékistan, Urbanchek Egam Nazarov et son guide Sardar Bakitirov. Couleur numéro 3, médaille de bronze,
meters, representing Namibia.
Ananias Sikongo et son guide Evan Chouchou.
This guide, Evan Chouchou, from the inside. Namibia, France, Uzbekistan, and Bahrain. Correction, not Brunei. Bahrain, it's Hussein Mohammed.
First heat of the men's 400 meters, T11.
So to be sure of progressing to the semis, you need to win your heat. And France will be making plenty of noise for Makunda in lane 3. So a fair bit of extra time allowed for the athletes to be set in place just so by the guide. Attach the tether. A cheer going up for Gautier Makunda. They'll drop silent in a moment for the start, as the crowd finds their manners. Chikongo, Namibia, Makunda of France, Egomanazarov for Uzbekistan, and Bahrain's Mohammed out in lane 7, and they've got away with 4 pairs in a fairly even start, but perhaps on the inside Chikongo, Namibia doing better and starting to gather in Makunda of France. Egomanazarov of Uzbekistan also running pretty well out in lane 5. Makunda responding for France, not being overtaken just yet by Chikongo. Chikongo starting to come again in the very outside. Hussein Mohammed also doing a good job. They come into the straight and it's anybody's race. And Hussein Mohammed of Bahrain leading it now. Makunda starting to make a surge to trying to get into a winning position, but Mohammed has done it. Egomanazarov of Uzbekistan second, then Makunda, then Chikongo, who perhaps went out a little too hard too early. But that was a really enjoyable open race, and Bahrain, Hussein Mohammed and Abdallah Jimel, not easy to win from out in lane 7.
It really isn't when you don't have that awareness of exactly where your competitors are. And obviously that's exacerbated in the visually impaired class. You're relying on that communication with your guide, yet your guide is having to work so hard purely to get through. Now, I am slightly worried by watching that finish and seeing Abdallah Jimel, Mohammed's guide, cross the line ahead of him. Yes, now, I wonder if this is...
They've flipped the result. They have been disqualified. Well picked. That's exactly what's happened. Egomanazarov has been promoted to the winner, and Mohammed is not sure why. Abdullah Jamil, we'll perhaps see in the replay that the winners did not cross legally. The athlete must cross the line first. So Egomanazarov has been given the win in 52.90.
Yeah, so we've actually got the information here, the guide runner finishing before the athlete. It's a technical rule 19.4 that's shown on our system here, and we'll see the replay coming through. Well, that will be absolutely gutting for Hussein Mohammed. But the rules are very strict, and rightly so. And here, just coming up to the finish, this is where the guide needed to just drop back, and Hussein Mohammed didn't dip for the line, but his guide did, and that meant the guide went across first.
He's just lost it there for the moment. He's not the one who's important to dip. It's his athlete. Well, another disqualification today. This in the heat. Well, terribly disappointing for Mohammed of Bahrain.
That was impressive running, but there's a confirmation that Hussein Mohammed won't be making it through to the semi-finals.
So no jump in the third round of the women's T64 long jump final. position though, as we move through the third round with a personal best set in the first round of 5 meters 87. Still, Netherlands 1-2-3.
So 52.90 for Egam Nazarov of Uzbekistan, confirming saying Mohammed disqualified, the guide in front. Dramas continue.
Discus F57 qui a ouvert la session de ce matin. Actuellement dans l'air, Jennifer Palais moyenne pour la Colombie, 28,42 m. Une meilleure performance de la saison pour elle. Elle est à son 4e jet.
In the second heat,
Qui mène actuellement ce concours, c'est
Chateau, Namibia.
Avec un nouveau record paralympique, 35,55 m. Deuxième avec 32,80 m.
Refugee Paralympic team featuring Atangana and Mendes de Silva of Brazil. So Kamokane, Soto, Namibia's Kinda, Atangana, refugee Paralympic team, and Brazil, Mendes de Silva, who holds the world record, just quietly. But that was set 13 years ago.
Oh, it's impressive to still be competing at the Paralympic level over such a period, especially in these sprinting events where it's such a ask on the body.
It's 45.
I just think, gosh, hamstrings. Hope they hold it together.
And Tangana given a warm welcome as part of the refugee team.
World champion who comes into this race in great form, representing Namibia.
Chris Kinda et son guide Rivano Boisgussel.
Chris Kinda, 5-year-old.
Représentant le Lesotho, Sibesele Kamokane et son guide Komane Petrosé Ralejoui. Passe à la deuxième série du 400 mètres catégorie T11.
Well, we'll hope for a little less controversy in the second heat than we had in the first, with a disqualification of the runner that crossed the line first. Kamokane of Lesotho, Namibia's Kinda, refugee team Atangana, outside Mendes de Silva, the world record holder. But that was from 13 years ago. Has got a season best though of 52.24, 51.15 for Kinda in 3. Kinda got away very smartly, so too wide out did Mendes. And also Atangana of the refugee team coming up immediately on Mendes, and they've gone out very hard in the first 200 metres. Atangana and his guide Niam Jua. Pacing his race a little more gently is Kinda, and on the inside Kamokane. But the refugee team of Atangana absolutely flying with Namajua. Have they gone too hard? Now they're starting to slow and the field beginning to catch them. Kinda's got a fair bit to do back in lane 3. And still it's Atangana leading the way towards the line. Has he got enough left to push through? He looks to have. Fast finishing Kinda on the inside, but it's going to be Atangana of the refugee Paralympic team. A convincing, impressive win.
really was what you call going from the gun, wasn't it? I mean, he was out of those blocks and ran that first bend. Exceptional pace, and I think we were all left thinking, can he keep this pace up? And what a performance.
Well, he couldn't keep it up right to the line, but such was the lead that he established that Kinder and Mendes, not a chance to catch them. So they are automatically through out of the second heat. Just the winners go through automatically, and then the next 4 fastest qualifiers go to the semis. So it's a process here. We've got a bit of a hamstring issue for Kamokane of Lesotho.
Well, that was a season's best, a personal best, first time under 52 seconds for Guillaume Atangana.
Absolutely motoring through that first bend and coming comfortably down to the line.
Well, it was a very close finish for second and third, which could become important if they were fast enough to make it through as the next losers.
And reassuring to see that the athletes crossed in front of their guides.
Dans ce tour préliminaire du 400 mètres T11, le premier de chaque série ainsi que les 4 meilleurs temps seront qualifiés.
Well, the quickest heat so far, 51.95. Atangana. We saw a winning time of 52.90, almost a second slower in heat number 1. Let's see if it continues that way.
38, she's up into third. The final of the women's T64 long jump.
Grosse performance de Heats pour les États-Unis d'Amérique dans le concours de la longueur femme T64, 5,38 m réalisé à son 3e saut. Elle prend donc la 3e place provisoire de cette finale. Vous venez de voir le saut de Sarah Walsh pour l'Australie, actuellement 8e de cette finale. Si elle reste dans cette 8e position, ça veut dire qu'elle accédera aux 3 sauts supplémentaires.
Kamokane of Lesotho disqualified in the end, but they were a very distant 4th. Automatically qualifying Atangana and guide Niamjua.
La seule maintenant qui pourrait venir l'embêter pour rester à cette place, Tesna Christine Abrahams pour l'Afrique du Sud, qui a établi un nouveau record d'Afrique à son
been a
premier
fall,
saut,
the tether's been broken.
Il lui restera donc un saut, il faudra battre son
Unfortunately,
record
that's
personnel pour aller
meant
décrocher
a disqualification.
une place dans les 8 meilleurs de ce concours. Allez, public du Stade de France, regardez à l'écran. Suivez son rythme. Faites du bruit.
Sun bursting through now after a cloudy morning.
Heats of the USA getting the crowd behind her for her 3rd attempt in this women's long jump. .478 has been her best so far. Oh, has that just been enough to push Kiki Hendricks off the podium position? It's been a Dutch 1-2-3 until now, and it was Hatz's teammate Annie Carey who was sitting in 4th, threatening that podium. Well, it's a good jump, that'll get the white flag. Our Pan American champion from last year is happy with that jump, delighted in fact, and you can see why. It has just put her in a podium position. Well, we see an upset from that clean sweep of the Netherlands. USA sitting in 3rd and 5th. Netherlands 1, 2 and 4. It was Japan looking like they were on the edge of podium glory. Still, 3 jumps remain for most of the field in that women's long jump.
Ready for the 3rd heat of the men's 400 T11. More for the French to cheer about here with Timothée Adolphe in the outside lane with Geoffrey Lamy, his guide. Plenty of interest in the middle there with Di Dong Dong, who is already a gold medalist from the long jump T11.
Numéro 5 pour la République populaire de Chine, Di Dong Dong, et son guide Jianglian Liang.
Well, it might have been kind to mention he's already a gold medalist here.
Pour l'Espagne, Eduardo Manuel Yuceda Novas et son guide Diego Folgado Munoz.
So just 3 in this. Same principles apply though. Only the winner progresses to the semi-finals. So we had 14 in the field, 2 heats of 4 and 2 of 3. Just how you come down after a gold medal and world record performance less than 24 hours before is the challenge for Di Dong Dong. For Timothée Adolphe, it's satisfying this hungry home crowd. We want results. And we've got Spain's Richard Novas in lane 3. Sounds like USA, but it's Timothée. Timothée Adolphe. And Adolphe got away pretty well. They all did, in fact. No problems for Di Dong Dong in the middle, and also for Richard Novas on the inside. Perhaps Richard Novas taking a little bit out of the stagger and catching Di Dong Dong. Still out in front, though, is Timothée Adolphe. Solid race, though, being run by Richard Novas and his guide Diego Folgado Munoz. They are in control of the race at the moment. Di Dong Dong dropping back to a distant 3rd. A race in 2. How long can Timothée Adolphe hold off Richard Novas? They come into the home straight pretty much locked together. Now it's a race between the 2 pairs, and Timothée Adolphe finding a little bit more. The crowd is bringing him home. And the Frenchman strides to the line, 5 meters clear of Richard Novas, and is acclaimed by about 60,000 French fans. Great fun to see and hear.
Well, if there's ever a time for the crowd support to give you that extra boost you need, you'll be hoping that's another level when it comes to the final, but it ended up looking comfortable for the Frenchman.
51:39 is the time for Timothée Adolphe and Geoffrey Lamy, his guide.
Well, the heats are getting quicker. That's again the fastest time of the day, and I've said that a couple of times so far as we watch the replay of heat number 3.
Well, the boys on the inside of Richard Novas pushed it out pretty hard, and if they kept that pace, it looked like they would catch Timothée Adolphe. But that was not the case. He had something left. And another winner from out in lane 7, although on reflection, that early result was ended up in a DQ for Bahrain, but not this time, we hope, for the sake of Timothée Adolphe.
Well, interestingly, Eduardo Manuel Uceda Navas, with that 52.79, would have won heat number 1.
Good point.
So he's going to be hoping that that is quick enough. It's the next 4 fastest qualifiers that make it through. So it's looking, well, I think that is guaranteed in that case, because there's only 3 in the final heat, so he will be going through. And there it is, confirmed.
I like your maths.
I did all that work for nothing. They give it to us on the screen.
You're a street ahead of me there, Heather.
Throwing in the women's discus F57 final.
Season best for Di Dong Dong, but no place in the semis for him in the T11 400. But he's already got a medal in the kit bag to take home to China.
Still, the best result for any of the 11 athletes to throw in this final.
So 1 heat to come. It will feature Iraq, Brazil and Venezuela. So a little bit of extra medical attention for Uceda Navas.
Pour Takakwa Saki, 4,63 m. Et c'était donc la planche de Nakanishi Maya qui attend maintenant son résultat. Le drapeau est blanc. Et vous l'avez vu, la lame qui est venue se poser juste avant la partie orange de la planche. 4,91 m son premier essai, 4,77 m. La prochaine tête à se présenter pour son 4e essai sera américaine. Annie Carey, actuellement 5e du concours avec 4,96 m. Elle est à 2 cm de son record personnel. Stade de France, peut-être qu'en faisant du bruit, tapant les mains, on va lui permettre d'aller chercher cette performance. Un record personnel, elle est à 2 cm. Annie Carey.
Fourth and final heats, first round of the men's 400 T11. Athletes and guides getting themselves organised. From Iraq, Mohamed Ayada. From Brazil, Felipe de Souza Gomez. And Venezuela, Henderson German Santos Gonzalez.
Kiki Hendricks pour la longueur femme T64, elle est actuellement 4e du concours avec 5,19 m.
Personal best times, be looking towards the middle of the track with de Souza Gomez, who's got a 50.38. But on season best, they're very evenly matched. A 52.03 for Venezuela, 52.28 Brazil, 52.68 Ayade of Iraq. needs to be careful with statistics, Heather, always.
They are just numbers on a page.
I have a long-standing favourite quote about gymnastics. He uses statistics like a drunk uses a lamppost for support rather than illumination.
I might steal that one.
It's not mine. It's much treasured. It stands up.
24 Paralympic champion representing Brazil.
Sousa Gomez, outside him Santos Gonzalez. So we were chatting over that about something not quite so relevant. Ayade of Iraq on the inside with guide Ahmed Al-Kinani. Really, this is a race about the win, I think. It's qualifying as through to the semis. It's one of the next 4 fastest. Becomes problematic. Guides are very careful to set up their athlete to start square. A slight, perhaps, angle towards the inside of the bend. French wave going around Stade de France. Ready, final heat. Men's 400 T11. And they all got away pretty well. Santos Gonzalez on the outside, Sousa Gomez in the middle for Brazil, and Ayade Iraq. Ayade's made a pretty prompt start on the inside lane of 3 and is coming up beside Sousa Gomez of Brazil. On the very outside, Venezuela's Santos Gonzalez has stretched the lead somewhat. Ayade still taking meters out of Sousa Gomez as the inside runners come up on Brazil, and the Brazil runner Sousa Gomez may not have the pace to go with them. On the very outside, it's still Santos Gonzalez of Venezuela, and if he can maintain his form, can run it down to the line from here. Ayade of Iraq trying to make a charge at the Venezuelan on the outside, but the line is too close, and across goes Santos Gonzalez safely. 51.50 approximately. 51.51 against Santos Gonzalez. 51.98 for Ayade, a PB. Personal best for the first 2 across the line, in fact, and 52.92 Sousa Gomez. Well, 51.51, not far outside the pretty brisk time set by Timothée Adolphe of 51.39. So we'll be looking for the Venezuelans to keep going.
I'm loving these stats, Steve, because it does now come down to the stats that completes the 4 heats. And we'll have to wait and see. It was the winner of every heat automatically through. So Santos Gonzalez doesn't have to worry about that after that strong performance and a clear finish ahead of his guide. And Mohamed Ayade most probably done enough with that 51.98, but we will wait for confirmation. But the heats definitely got quicker as we went through this qualifying round, and it's through to the semi-finals. So these athletes will have to run once more and once again if they are to win a gold in the men's T11 400.
51.51 it is for Santos Gonzalez of Venezuela as he progresses to the semis. Adolphe finds himself at the top there with his 51.39, and that's up on the big screen for the crowd to enjoy as he progresses to the semis. I think 1/400 run a year is enough for most people. If you're silly enough to try it all, it's a brute of a distance.
I mean, if only we could do it in 51 seconds, then we might be able to do 2. You never know.
Du côté du concours du disque femme F57, la dernière athlète est maintenant en place et va entamer son concours. Arlette Mabé-Fokora pour le Cameroun. 6 essais pour aller chercher un rêve olympique. Pour l'instant dans ce concours, une meilleure performance de la saison. Alors que Sarah Roche a fait essai et elle a l'améliore. Pour sa dernière performance, Takagawa Saki, 4,90 m.
Final athlete into the cage for the women's F57 discus final. Aletta Maro of Cameroon. Her best so far, 23.53 in the second round.
Just such a comfortable stadium to come to. Not going to get rained on. And it's a lovely mild day in Paris. No surprise to see this first session today so well attended.
Maya Nakashima in the women's T64 long jump.
Looked like a big foul, I think.
Well, her best jump was her opener so far, 491. She's had 2 fouls following that and a 477 on her last, but she's not going to be improving on that opening jump and her 5th attempt. 1 attempt remaining for Nakanishi. Currently sitting in 6th place. Annie Carey did see herself threatening for the podium. She was in 4th place, just been bogged down to 5th now. 496 has been her best jump. Only 2 centimeters off her personal record, but she's going to need a personal best to reach the podium. 5:38, held by her teammate sitting in bronze, B Hats. Doesn't look like that is an improvement on her 496. Just having to adapt her stride at the last minute then. I think think that is not going to be an improvement. A 4.69, so 4.96 still her best with one jump remaining. Well, these are the standings so far, and we saw B-Hats get in the mix and push down Hendricks, but it's still Fleur Young who dominates this women's long jump final.
Mesdames et messieurs, la cérémonie des vainqueurs du lancer du poids masculin F12.
Ladies and gentlemen, the victory
We get ready for the men's shot put victory ceremony for the F12 category.
Veuillez accueillir les médaillés.
Please welcome the medalists.
And we saw this competition ongoing throughout this morning's session. Several lead changes throughout.
Presented by
Le docteur Max Peters, directeur général du Comité international paralympique.
Chief Executive Officer of the International Paralympic Committee.
Accompagné par
Accompanied by
Monsieur Yann Petit, président de Hologris.
Chairman of the Hologrige.
Médaillé de bronze représentant l'Ukraine.
Bronze medalist representing Ukraine, Roman Daniluk.
Roman Daniluk adds to his Paralympic medal collection in the shot put. It was a bronze in Rio, it was a silver in Tokyo 3 years ago, and now he adds another bronze to that collection. He did manage to be top of the world in 2023, the world champs last year, along with a gold in 2015 and 2019. And he's back on the podium at these Paralympic Games.
Médaillé d'argent représentant de l'Ukraine.
Silver medalist representing Ukraine, Vladimir Ponomarenko.
Vladimir Ponomarenko beat his teammate by just 1 centimetre on that fourth attempt throw. Daniluk a 16.11 on his fourth attempt, and Ponomarenko answered that with a 16.12. I'm sure they'll be hugging off the podium, but that 1 centimetre is such a small margin to separate the silver and the bronze. Well, a fourth in Tokyo, and this time a silver.
Champion paralympique représentant l'Ouzbékistan.
Gold medalist and Paralympic champion representing Uzbekistan, Elbek Sultanov.
Elbek Sultanov still can't believe it. A 16 meters 45, the throw that won him this title. It was also on that fourth round. That's where all the action happened in this men's shot put final. A huge throw, season's best of a 14.49, a personal best of 15.94. So his first time over 16 meters. An absolutely massive personal best to win the Paralympic title. A throw of a lifetime from memory that will last a lifetime.
If you can please stand for the anthem of Uzbekistan.
Albek Sutanov on the top step for Uzbekistan. Joined on that podium by Vladimir Ponomarenko and Roman Daniliuk of Ukraine.
Well, Uzbekistan has found themselves some good throwers. Gee, they're picking up some medals in Paris.
Well, we might be celebrating medals. Fleur Yong is still working for hers. She's currently leading the field in the women's long jump. She is the final athlete to take her 5th jump. Currently has a substantial lead. The closest threat to her coming from her teammate with a 5.87 by Marlene van Genzevinkel. Well, she hasn't improved on her second attempt, that 6.52 by the looks of things. She will just be enjoying this, as it doesn't look as though that's going to threaten her position. A 6.20 on her first attempt, a 6.52 on her second, and now maybe just trying a little bit too hard, seeing what she's got left. She's still got one more attempt. She's got that Paralympic record. No one is looking close.
She took off well before the board, and the left blade just seemed to make contact with the bit. Not quite how she would have intended. Not sure why that was a foul.
I don't think she'll be concerned by that. As we see the standings here, look at that huge lead. The only athlete to clear 6 meters and doing it by half a meter. Well, one jump remaining for all 8 athletes in this women's long jump final.
Now into the final round of jumps for the women's T64 long jump. Sarah Walsh getting us underway in the 6th and final round.
Nassima Safi absolutely dominated the women's discus throw in the F57. She came in as world record holder and Paralympic record holder. And she didn't disappoint, getting her moment with the bell.
Ladies and gentlemen, the victory ceremony for the women's club throw F32. Please welcome the medalists.
It's the women's club throw F32 victory ceremony.
Les médailles seront remises par
The medals will be presented by
Madame Sarah Ouramoun, membre du conseil d'administration Paris 2024.
member of the Paris 2024 Board of Directors.
Accompagnée par
Accompanied by
Monsieur Bertrand Baquette, directeur des événements de la gestion des sites du comité d'organisation des Jeux Olympiques et Paralympiques de Paris 2024.
Director of Events and Venue Management of the Organising Committee of the Olympic and Paralympic Games of Paris 2024.
Médaille de bronze, représentante du Brésil.
Bronze medalist representing Brazil, Giovanna
Castillo Goncalves throwing a 26.01 with her third attempt. Year-old, a career highlight coming with this bronze medal. Elevated up the standings after another disqualification. We've had a few of them over the last couple of sessions, and I was watching at the time, would have expected to see Rosa Kozakovska on the podium here, but she has been DQ'd.
Silver medalist representing Islamic Republic of Iran,
Arasto Habibi with a 26.29, an area record. 21-year-old. It was her third attempt. That was her best. And beating the previous personal best by 4 centimeters. You come to these big occasions and do a personal best. You can't do more. Anything that happens on top of that is a bonus if the cards fall your way.
Médaille d'or et championne paralympique représentante de la Tunisie.
Gold medalist and Paralympic champion representing Tunisia, Maroua Ibrahimi.
Maroua Ibrahimi threw a 29-meter exactly. And that was a world record. She did not expect to be in this position. Rosa Kozakovska threw a monstrous 31.30 for a new world record, but she has been disqualified under rule 16.1.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you can, please stand for the anthem of
Ibrahimi
Tunisia.
of Tunisia takes the goal.
Mesdames et messieurs, les médaillés paralympiques.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Paralympic medalists.
Maroua Ibrahim throwing 29 meters clean for a world record and gold.
Kiki Hendricks did see herself in that podium position. She's been pushed down by Heats into fourth. This is her final attempt at a medal. And I have a feeling that that foot placement on the board might not have been worthy of a white flag. Oh, we'll have to wait and see for a closer look. But she needed 5:38 or more to get on the podium. 5:35, she produced her biggest jump on her fifth attempt. 5:20, it's not quite to be. She looked in such hope after that fifth attempt with an improvement 3 centimeters off the bronze medal. But it will be a fourth place finish for Kiki Hendricks. Well, we see celebration now because there's only 3 athletes left to jump, and they are all guaranteed a medal. B Heats with that third attempt, a 5:38, has put herself in bronze medal position. She has a chance of moving up to the silver or the gold if she can better that performance on this final attempt. Well, now's the time to get the crowd behind you. All the focus here in the Stade de France is on this women's long jump. No more action on the track this morning, just on the long jump runway. Well, she enjoyed that final moment. And she's going to celebrate that bronze.
She looks like she knows how to.
Well, that last jump won't be significant. It was a clean jump, but she knows that it hasn't been enough. She needed a 5:87 or better to move into the silver position held by Marleen van Gansevinkel. Well, it was a 5:16, a second jump over 5 meters, but it was that third jump of a 5:38 that has secured B Heats the bronze medal in this women's T64 long jump final. Well, the battle remains now between the two Dutch women. Marleen van Gansevinkel had her best jump 5 jumps ago, 5:87 on her opener. And that was a personal best. What can she do? With the energy of the crowd behind her, guaranteed at least a silver medal. Well, she's celebrating because she knows she is going to be taking home a medal, the colour silver, for Marleen van Gansevinkel. She won a bronze in Tokyo, she won a bronze in Rio, and she has gone one better here in Paris. She is enjoying the moment, celebrating here in this packed out stadium. All eyes on this long jump final. A special moment for Van Gansevinkel as she celebrates with B Heats as they know they have their medals. Well, it was her second longest jump to finish, a 5:82. It keeps her in the silver. And now this is surely a jump of celebration for Fleur Jong. She was definitely going to be the woman to beat in this, and she has guaranteed the gold. Can she better that Paralympic record that she's already broken twice in this competition? Attempt number 6, the final jump of the competition. Well, that was a brilliant jump to finish off.
Was close for legal.
Just trying to look a closer look at that, and that confirms. Well, that is absolutely timed to perfection there. What an incredible jump. Came in as the reigning world champion and the reigning Paralympic champion, and she has added the title here in Paris to that collection. And it was another Paralympic record. She has broken that Paralympic record 3 times in this final. 1 centimetre improvement. That just shows what you can do when relaxed. And with the crowd behind her, Fleur Jong, 6:53 for a new Paralympic record. She takes the gold medal in the women's long jump T64 final.
Beautiful camaraderie in the field of long jump.
Well, it's always helped when you're joined by a teammate on the podium. Celebrating alongside Marleen van Gansevinkel. B-Hats did upset the party for the Netherlands. Kiki Hendricks was in the podium position for so long. A great result for the young American, just 23 years of age, and absolutely on a high with that bronze, and so she should be. Well, isn't that nice to see the coach of B-Hat celebrating the new Paralympic champion, Fleur Yong, doing so much for the sport. What a champion she is.
Well, the pit groomers do a great job. I'm sure it's a fair competition, and what a comp it was. T64.
Well, they know how to jump, don't they, those three?
Yeah.
Well, we've got to get the perfect picture. Well, I'll get a chance to do that all again on the podium when it comes to their victory ceremony, but it looks like it's going to be a victory lap for Fleur Yong first. Coming up, we now have the women's javelin throw F13 victory ceremony. Another one of the events that we saw earlier on in this morning's session was the opening event, in fact, of this second day of athletics.
Please welcome the medalists.
Well, our medalists coming out with their guides, being led into position behind the podium.
The medals will be presented by
Monsieur Brice Rabasté, maire de Chelles.
Mayor of Chelles.
Accompagné par Madame Amina Ouini, 14e adjointe au maire de la Courneuve, déléguée aux solidarités à l'inclusion sociale.
45th Mayor of La Courneuve, delegate for Solidarity for Social Inclusion.
Médaille de bronze, représentant l'Autriche.
Bronze medalist representing Austria, Natalia Ada.
Natalia Ada, at 44 years of age, is on the podium with that bronze medal. It was her final throw that pushed her up the rankings, 37-22 on the 6th attempt. And she adds this bronze to the 2 bronze medals she won back in London and in Rio. Just missed out in 4th at Tokyo. The silver medalist from the recent World Championships adds a bronze from Paris 2024 in this women's javelin F13.
Silver medalist, neutral Paralympic athlete,
Anna Kolinic-Sorokina for the neutral Paralympic athletes. Salutes the crowd. She won a silver medal all the way back in London, still only 32 years of age. And again, it was that final throw. She brought her best at the last moment, a 38.10, to soar her up the rankings. And it was a season's best as well for Kolinic-Sorokina.
Médaillée d'or des championnes paralympiques représentant la République populaire de Chine.
Gold medalist and Paralympic champion representing People's Republic of China, Zhao Yuping.
Your new Paralympic champion, Zhao Yuping. She certainly set the field alight with that second attempt, 47.06, which bettered her own world record by over a metre. Previously stood at 46 metres. Well, she converts that silver medal she won in Tokyo into gold here in Paris. Came in as a favourite, as a four-time world champion. And what an incredible performance. Absolutely smashed the Paralympic record that had stood since 2016. Broke her own world record that was 5 years old.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you can, please stand for the anthem of People's Republic of China.
Celebrations all round this women's javelin throw. F13 victory ceremony. What a performance by Zhao Yuping, smashing her own world record from 2019 at the World Championships on her way to that gold. Anna Kolinic-Sorokina, a strong final throw for the silver, and Natalia Eder, at 44 years of age, rounds up the podium with the bronze for Austria. What energy from the Dutch woman. Fleur Jong broke the Paralympic record on 3 occasions in that final, bettering her own performance by 1 centimetre with that final jump. She is enjoying her moment in the stadium, and rightly so.
Breaking her own Paralympic record in the long jump on 3 occasions in the competition.
Merci à tous nos volontaires qui accompagnent la réalisation des performances de l'ensemble des athlètes sur ces Jeux paralympiques. Merci à vous.
As this morning's session draws to a close, once again, thank you to all the volunteers without whom the Paris 2024 Paralympic Games couldn't go on.
Et encore une magnifique matinée d'athlétisme avec un public extraordinaire. Vous êtes vraiment au top. Alors, ce matin, un record du monde au javelot, un magnifique record du monde de Zhao Yuping au javelot. Qu'est-ce qui nous attend pour cette
semi-finals in the men's 400 metre T11, which we saw the first heats of this morning, and then also the women's 200 metres get underway with their heats in the T36 category.
Can't wait for this afternoon, right? Roland, qu'est-ce qui nous attend cet après-midi?
Cet après-midi, vous pouvez découvrir le programme sur les écrans géants, mais surtout cet après-midi, il faudra avec nous pour vivre les mêmes émotions que ce matin, et notamment Antoine Pro et sa première médaille française ici au Stade de France, et surtout Marcel Hugues, multimédaillé paralympique, recordman du monde en titre du 5000 mètres fauteuil T54. On le retrouvera cet après-midi pour la grande finale de l'après-midi.
Et voici, c'est la fin de la session du matin. On vous donne rendez-vous cet après-midi à partir de 19 h pour encore beaucoup d'émotions paralympiques.
Field action, men's shot put F12 was the second event up on the program, and Roman Daniuk had a 15-18 in the third attempt, and then a 16-11 throw down a challenge to his teammate Ponomarenko and Sultanov of Uzbekistan. Record today not under threat, 17:04 by Lopez Gonzalez, but anything over 16 threw you into contention. And Daniuk, a 16:11 would prove to be his best. Vladimir Ponomarenko by the narrowest of margins and comes out and throws 16-12 to have him by a centimetre. At this stage, Ukraine sitting first and second, 16-12 to 16-11, but Ulbek Sultanov was yet to come. Ponomarenko is 16-12, just shading his teammate by the 1 centimetre. And here is Uzbekistan's Elbek Sultanov, a 28-year-old with a previous personal best of 15.94. Suddenly finds 16.45 for an astonishing new personal best as he waltzes across the circle and unloads one. And his head goes back with pride, rightly so. Uzbekistan continuing to shine at these Paralympic Games of 2024. 16.45 gets the job done. Second for Ponomarenko, third for Daniuk. Behind the exultant Sultanov. So tight, second and third. Sultanov, a clear winner in the men's shot put F12. Women's javelin, F13 final. Good field featuring Zhao Yuping. Natalia Eder, something of a veteran, needing something special in her last attempt to move onto the podium. And a 37.22, moving her from 4th into 3rd. And delighted to find that she's amongst the medals. Anna Kulinic-Sorokina, neutral Paralympic team athlete, and a 38.10 season best. Also with a final attempt, left that right elbow a bit sore, but she'll have something for the pain. And Zhao Yuping. With a second attempt, put it out a ridiculous distance, 47.06, to smash a world record. Not much more needed to be done. She did throw 4 more times, but no one got near the 47.06, as those other numbers show you. Back to Kulinic-Sorokina, 38.10, and Ida, 37.22. Women's discus F57. 12 in the final. Including Nassima Saifi, the world record holder from Algeria. Moknigul Hamdamova. Uzbekistan again and again putting forward great throws across all competitions. Hamdamova with her second, a 32.75, not quite as strong as her PB in the low 33s, but moving her up onto the podium. Shumian, 32.81 would prove to be her best in the 5th attempt. Her only throw over 32 meters, and she nearly made 33. 26-year-old. Consolidating second position, but only by 6 centimeters ahead of Hamdamova. 32.81 at PB, and good for silver. And then we had Nassima Saifi of Algeria, 35-year-old. Throwing it out to 35.55. Very close to her world record and a new Paralympic record. And Saifi, a short, powerful action. It's a great look. Not quite sure how good it was. It was very good. 35.55, Nassima Saifi. That's some pretty raw emotion spilling out for the Algerian with a 35.55. Brilliant throw to win the discus F57. And by the best part of 3 meters from Zhu and Hamdamova. China and Uzbekistan. Women's long jump. Well, there's a strong field from the Netherlands, that's for sure, with Fleur Jong, Marleen van Gensenwinkel and Kiki Hendricks. And also B. Heats, who was sitting out of the medals for most of the competition. At least the first 2 rounds, until she found a very good jump in the third. Likes to engage with the crowd. And she was right on the end of the board for that one. An excitable athlete, 5:38 to move past Kiki Hendricks, but only by 3 centimeters. And in that position, she would stay, upsetting the possibility of a Dutch 1-2-3. It was all taken in good heart. Not too much room left on the board there. And that landing on the hip is an established technique for the athletes in this classification. Pretty happy about it. Marleen van Gensenwinkel started off competition in brilliant form. Just working the crowd on that far side of the stadium, opposite side to the 100-meter track. Plenty of fans over there at the time. And a big jump, 5:87 with a first into first position. Not for too long, because Fleur Jong was soon in the lead, smashing the Paralympic record, shredding it. (6:52), then 6:53. Absolute precision on the board. There was nothing left to be had there as Fleur Jong secured the gold. Just an athlete in excellent form, up for the occasion, confident, and making it the Netherlands 1 and 2, with Marleen van Gensenwinkel at 5:87 and 5:38 for B. Heats of the United States. There may not be a more exuberant winner at these games, but B. Heats, congratulations on a clearly very important bronze medal for her, and Marleen van Gensenwinkel. Good pedigree in this event have the Dutch. And one for the cameras. An event, as we mentioned, conducted in fantastic spirit. Good camaraderie between Jong, van Gensenwinkel and Heats, our medalists, and in fact the whole field in the women's T64 long jump. So that about wraps it up for the session. We hope you've been enjoying the para-athletics from Stade de France. There's a lot more to come, and we'd invite you to come back and enjoy it with us. See you soon. Well, a session in which we truly had everything. World records, disqualifications, withering runs down the home straight to claim a gold medal when it was unexpected, and all in front of a great crowd at Stade de France who've made their way away from the stadium, but many of them will be back, and we hope you will be too, as the Paralympics of 2024 continue. Goodbye for now from Paris.